the fuck was that, Ken?
Joey Fats Radio, row 1, seat 1.
I've been loving every second. I'm not rooting for injuries openly, but
I just pretended that was Brian Deegan.
I'm so fucking pumped. I'll be like, yeah, bitch, fuck
I will do that.
I'm gonna find him on LinkedIn and be like, "Did you punch a kid in the face? Tell me the truth."
All right, Sean brought his A game tonight. All right, okay, I like it. I like where this is going. And I don't want to put this as like a thing. Like, he wasn't a bad guy as far as we know.
Who said he was a bad guy?
I don't know, but I feel like we're painting him in this light that he was like this bad guy, and I don't want to do that. To this day, I hope you hear this. Fuck you. But rules are rules, okay? Stupid rule, but it was a rule. If you were a Crip and you were cooling in the cut, what do the Bloods do? Are they booling in the butt? Yep. Also, we are extremely juvenile, and yeah, whatever. Fuck you. All right.
You fucking smacked me in the ass, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, stop asking about Christmas, children.
Alexa, how many days until Christmas?
That is one thing I'm glad I don't have to think about Christmas until it's time to think about Christmas. Because like I can't imagine having to get like a kid Christmas presents. Because I feel like you'd have to start like last month.
I'm fucked. No, I already started. I already have like 4 or 5 things for him.
That's what I'm saying. Like I would be, because I'd be like, oh, I could get this for him for Christmas. I'll get it later.
Yeah, but
then I would forget.
His birthday's 3 weeks earlier, 2.5 weeks earlier. So I'm double porked.
It's funny how that works.
And then I have another child who doesn't have a baby. Who doesn't have a birthday.
We're what? How many days from Christmas now? 60?
It was like 96 or something like that.
60 something? No, it got to be less than that. Yeah, 56.
We're in September.
In September.
Do you remember? Wait,
today's the 24th, so we're 3 months from Christmas Eve.
No, but what's the song? Is it the 24th of September? Fuck, I forgot the date. God damn it.
I don't know. Earth, Wind, and Fire, though. I did get that eventually.
Days later.
Came to me days later, and I did get it. Joey Fats Radio, row 1, seat 1. Thank you all for joining us on this absolutely...
It was 21st of September. I missed 21st,
yeah.
God damn it.
Because that was my brother's wedding day. Which is why Paul is not here tonight. Thank you all for joining us on this absolutely beautiful Tuesday evening.
It is
September
gorgeous,
the 24th. It is absolutely phenomenal outside. Like I was outside. We ate dinner outside. It was perfect, like gym shorts and a hoodie weather.
That's exactly what I'm wearing right now. Yep. Perfect. You can't go wrong with it.
It was absolutely. It was mint. It's so nice out. But I'm not happy about summer being gone. I still miss the heat. But
we totally get screwed in the north because it's not just losing the nice weather, it's you lose most of the sun too.
Yeah. And
it's bullshit because it's like, oh, and they do the whole, the farmers used to use a sundial, so now we have to drop out. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of here with this daylight savings time
Seriously,
shit.
If we could just get rid of daylight savings time, I think everything would be fine. But
it's 2024. We're talking about going to other planets. We're not worried about growing crops. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, we are.
We are.
But not like we used to be.
Not exactly.
We don't have to worry about it like we used to have to worry about it. But we digest. See what I did there?
Yes, I did.
Crops, digest. That
was actually pretty good.
Hey, I'm bringing the heat tonight. But Paul is not here tonight. He is on his honeymoon with his lovely wife in the Greek Isles. Don't ask me which one, but they're over there gallivanting around in the Middle East, in the Mediterranean.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah, Sri Lanka. We keep trying to guess where he is, but we keep
He said it
wrong.
once, and I was like, I don't remember.
Yeah, so he won't be here tonight. He won't be here next week either, but he should be back the week after that. We think maybe. Who knows?
He's calling it a year. He's like Anthony Richardson hurt. Yes.
He's like, all right, I'm all done. Andrew Luck retired. All right, no more football talk for me. But thank you very much for joining us. 774-992-8702. We appreciate y'all joining us. Give us a call if you want to get your thoughts in. We've got 2 weeks of NFL action to cover. We've got some MLB news to cover. We might dabble into a little bit of the NBA because I do have a lot of shit I want to talk about Jason Tatum and the Celtics, and maybe throw in a little Kendrick Perkins. But
so I didn't like that news today as a Celtics fan.
What's that?
The Tatum working on his shot because he thinks his mechanics are a little bit off. It's like, bro, I watched you in the playoffs. I saw your shot was off.
Did you see when they asked him about like what did he learn? Like what did he learn from his experiences over the summer? And he was like, "What do you mean? It's a broad question." You talk about me not playing in the Olympics, and they're like, well, yeah, that's part of it. Like, obviously, like, what do you think I'm getting? Like, you're gonna make me say it? Like, come on, man. Like, help us out. Like, this is what our job is. Now give us something. And he said something along the lines of like, he's like, I didn't need any more motivation for this, for this game than I already had. I'm coming off a gold medal and, the cover of 2K. And I was like, did he really just throw in that like the being on the cover of 2K was one of his like accomplishments from the like?
Did he also say that he has Kobe's phone number?
I mean, he may as well have. Be like, like me and Kobe, man, we were boys,
Kobe. He calls me Kobe.
I still text his phone, and from time and time again. I hate Jason Tatum so much now at this point. Like, he is quickly becoming my least favorite player in the NBA.
I like Tatum, but I'm kind of sick of some of his antics. I don't like the way he acts sometimes.
And he's like, Joe said the best thing. He was so happy that I didn't win the Finals MVP and that I didn't play in the Olympics.
See, why do you have to say stuff like that? That bothers me.
Yeah.
Like, now that
is
that
not Mamba mentality, bro.
That looks like that's a slight against Jaylen Brown, who deserved it. You know what I mean?
He was the better player. I don't care that your statistics might have been slightly better in some categories. Everybody knows who the best player on the court was through those finals.
It was not shocking when Jaylen won it. Jaylen was the most consistent.
Everybody knew he was winning it.
Everybody but
except Tatum.
And he won the Eastern Conference Finals too.
Yes, he did.
And so,
which I didn't even know that was a thing, nor do I care. But
no, it's been, I think, for like a decade now.
I mean,
nobody cares.
I knew it was a thing, but it wasn't like
nobody cares. It's like Pro Bowls. Like, nobody cares.
Yeah, I mean, go look at the Pro Bowl quarterbacks from last year, like Mac Jones.
Oh, bro, Mac Jones playing.
He is.
Yeah, hey, I told you, I think I had tears in my eyes when I saw the call, and it was like, Mac Jones is going to be coming into the game, and I was like, I had my hands on my face like I'm Kevin McAllister from Home Alone, for those of you that are just listening and not watching, and I'm like, dude, if he comes in and makes a fucking touchdown pass, like, this place is going to go wild. Like, people are going to be like, Mac Jones! Instead, he comes in, and he turns into Mac Jones, gets hit, throws the ball backwards, like, fuck! And then I was like, nah, it's typical. Like, that's...
No, we're back. We're right back to where we were with Mac Jones.
Because in the preseason, everyone was like, bro, Mac Jones looks great. Like, Doug Peterson's really figured him out. Things are looking great. And then he got him to real time against the starters, and Mac Jones gets blown up in the first play and throws the ball 10 yards backwards and causes that turnover. I was like, oh, man, that's typical right now. That's amazing.
So we're going to be pretty football heavy tonight. We're going to
it's the NFL season.
It is. It's NFL season, and we got 2 weeks worth of stuff to cover. So we're not going to do too much on week 2. We'll allude to it and get, bring some stuff up, but nothing crazy. But mostly going to be week 3 reactions. Basically, we're going to do a good, the bad, the ugly kind of approach to this show. The good being Washington, Seattle, Pittsburgh, and the Minnesota Vikings. The bad being Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Tennessee, and Atlanta. And then you have the ugly. Miami, Dallas, Baltimore, and San Francisco.
What is going on?
And feel free to give us your thoughts and calls on any of those and add in your if you have a good, the bad, the ugly that you want to sprinkle in there.
You have a couple of player coaching situations in Baltimore and Dallas where players are getting given some mouthy answers to the public.
And don't let the Vegas Raiders off the hook either. Apparently things are not going great in the locker room for Antonio Pierce. I know.
Wow.
Who knew?
Shocker.
Who knew? Not us. We're shit. Anybody who listens to this show knows that. Well, we probably could have. We didn't probably could have seen that coming. We did see that coming.
Why do you think I was a nervous wreck when they announced Gerard Mayo as coach? And I'm like, first of all, way too soon, and former player. I don't like before games. He's like, hey, watch out. He's playing jokes on his players. I'm like, that does nothing for me, dude. Unless you're winning games, I don't care about this shit.
If you're not winning games, and I don't give a fuck what you're doing, like, you got quarterback competition between Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, and you got half the fan base calling for Aiden O'Connell. That is not good. You just got lit the fuck up by the Carolina Panthers and Andy fucking Dalton, who I didn't even know was still in the league.
Yeah.
Comes in and just drops dimes on your ass. Now, I think, just to touch real quickly on that, because it always makes me just a little happier when the Raiders get their absolute shit pushed in. I don't think the Carolina Panthers are as good as what they played or what they showed on Sunday.
No, they're a bad team.
They're a very bad team, okay? They're a very bad team. And I don't think Bryce Young is as bad as what the Carolina Panthers showed the first 2 weeks. And I don't think they're as good as what Andy Dalton put out there, right? I feel like
yeah, they overperformed.
they overperformed because, and this is what I was getting at with this, the Raiders are terrible. Outside of Max Crosby, they have zero, and Devontae Adams, they have zero good players. They have 2 good players out of 53 on that roster. That's it.
Correct.
They're not a good team. They're not a good roster. They're poorly coached. They're poorly run. And guess what, Raiders fans? It's right back to where you started. You're right back to square one. Pre-Derek Carr. You know, you had a little bit of hope with Derek Carr, and we'll get into him and the Saints in a minute. He's a fraud. But, man, it just makes me just that much happier seeing Carolina just come in and dog walk the fucking Vegas Raiders. I mean, seeing Adam Thielen making diving grabs in the end zone from Andy Dalton and getting, the 37 hung on him?
Something like that.
It was just something ridiculous. I'm watching that unfold, like on, through Red Zone or whatever, and I'm watching and I'm just laughing my ass off.
I'm trying to bring up exactly what the player stats are for that game. Andy Dalton had 319 yards passing on 37 attempts with 3 touchdowns. No interceptions, no turnovers.
How many times was he sacked? 2?
Let's look it up. Maybe.
I mean, you could just probably look at Max Crosby's numbers.
1, 2, just 2.
2?
Yep.
1 by Crosby and
half to Wilkins, half to Bennett, and 1 by Crosby.
that's what I thought. Okay.
No, Crosby didn't get the thing for it. It was Spillane.
Oh, okay.
Crosby got
All right.
0.
So Max Crosby. So, well, there's half your problem. Max Crosby wasn't able to wreck the game for you, which is basically what the Oakland Raiders. That's their philosophy on defense is, well, we suck, so let's just hope Max can go out there and absolutely ruin everyone for us. And that didn't happen, so that was great. And that was excellent for me. Loved seeing that. Loved seeing the Raiders get their shit pushed in. Because I can already feel the changing of, the changing of the tide in the AFC West. Where the Raiders and the Chargers are already starting. I mean, we're talking Herbert's already hurt.
What happened to Herbert? He was
High
a game
ankle
time.
sprain.
He was a game time decision. Gets to the game, gets hit a couple times, and gone.
High ankle sprain. They pulled him. I think he could be looking at missing some significant time. I think they're being real low key about it.
You mean just like CMC?
Just like CMC, and we will get into the San Francisco 49ers when we get to the ugly portion. But let's start with the good. So, what did we have? What do we have for the good here? Let's start with the 3-0 teams. First and foremost.
Can we start with the most surprising, the Minnesota Vikings, who are just blowing the doors off of people offensively?
Okay, I will give you. I was going to say, are they the most surprising though?
Yes.
Because I kind of had the Pittsburgh Steelers ahead of them in terms of maybe in my head, but then it dawned on me, oh no, Pittsburgh has an excellent defense. Arguably one of the top
Pittsburgh
3 in the
always
league.
does well defensively.
They do. And we also have to remember, and this goes tenfold for the show because it drives me up a wall when I talk to Steelers fans who call for Mike Tomlin's head.
Well,
Mike Tomlin
stupid.
is 3rd, 4th best coach in the league. You know, you have Andy Reid. Okay, clearly, he's the best since Bill retired. And, we'll put a placeholder at 1 for Bill. So we'll put Andy Reid at 1A. Okay, you've got Sean Payton, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, and then you got the slew of young guys: Shanahan, McVay, Taylor. D'Amico's doing a really good job down in Houston.
For now, yeah.
And then after that, it becomes really just kind of a crap. I mean, do you want to say Harbaugh in LA?
Not yet.
But I'm not ready to do that yet. So, what's his name? Who's the Vikings head coach, the Rams' old offensive coordinator?
Kevin O'Connell. Former Patriots quarterback.
Yes, right. Long time ago.
Dude, Patriots.
God, when was he? That was like the 2011.
2005.
Oh, it was even okay. So it was even before that.
Because he got drafted in that, in between the perfect season, and it was him. It was Ryan Mallett. It was Cliff Kingsbury,
Quiff.
and then a lot of the knock is that those guys credited sitting in the same room with Brady and Belichick going over game plans of how they came up with their own offensive shit. And it's no surprise that Kevin O'Connell, who was a very smart quarterback in college, couldn't make it in the pros, but then was a great coach. And then Cliff Kingsbury couldn't make it in the pros, but was a very good quarterback in college. They both transitioned into offensive side of the coaching football. And
listen,
it works.
When we get into the Redskins in a minute, Cliff Kingsbury has got his fingerprints all over that. So
he loved Jaden, and
he
said it. He said it all the whole time. And I was like, the only thing that worries me about Jaden still, and I'll still say it, frail.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was thinking of that earlier. I was sitting in the sauna earlier, and I was kind of going through my show notes, and I was just sitting there kind of just getting prepped for the show.
Yep.
And I had to go back and check, and I was like, wait, what did I say about Jaden when we on draft day? Because I don't want to contradict myself and get these guys confused or say things. And I'm like, no, we liked Jaden Daniels. We were just worried about his frame and his physical ability to stay healthy.
Which is why I think I said it on draft day, the draft day show that I did too, is that if I were picking quarterbacks, it was probably Jaden Drake right there, and then Caleb for me was third, because Caleb had a lot of potential, but Caleb has the douchebag diva mentality, and he's doing that again right now.
We'll get into the Bears too. We can throw them into the bad or the ugly category.
But then for as frail as Jaden was, inexperience was Drake's problem. So it was which one do you want? Do you want frail and experience, or you want inexperience and built like a tank?
Correct. So to that point, to the Minnesota Vikings, Kevin O'Connell. I mean, can we just talk about real quick how, and I know Baker didn't have a great week this week, and we'll talk about my Broncos and the Bucs in a minute. But can we talk about what a relief it must be for Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield to get away from, in one regard, the Jets, both with the Panthers, and now they're off in their own separate things, and their careers have just started to take off like we thought they always should have.
Yes.
Because they got away from those shithole franchises.
Yes.
I wish I could say it like Trump. These shithole franchises. They're
these shitholes.
The Cleveland Browns, the New York Jets, the Carolina Panthers, the Raiders.
Just poorly run organizations.
Horrendously run. Arizona's up and down, but they think maybe it looked like if they figure some shit out, they might have some good things on the horizon heading their way. But
I think with Arizona, though, I don't find the owners scumbags. I find the owners desperate. Because
they can't get anybody to go there.
Yes.
It's just not an attractive...
Marvin Harrison draft day. He gets drafted. Everyone's like, oh, Kyler Murray and you. And then he's like this. He's legit upset. And then Kyler Murray, they had to pay a fortune to, and they begged him to stop playing video games.
Yeah.
And then when that came out, they were like, we never said anything like that. The whole contract is fake. And they redid the whole contract.
Yep.
It's they're
trash.
They're desperate to be relevant.
But look at what Sam Darnold did and has done for the last, since JJ got hurt in preseason.
Yes.
Sam Darnold's been the starter since opening day.
And they didn't even want to start
and the Vikes,
Sam Darnold.
No. The Vikes have been the best or the second best offense.
They look
in the
good.
NFL.
Yes.
Yes, you heard this right. Sam Darnold. Yes, that's Sam Darnold. I'm seeing ghosts. Sam Darnold.
Yep.
That guy who, and if you remember this, Sean, I was high on bringing Sam Darnold in last year.
For the Broncos.
The Broncos,
yeah.
when we were getting rid of Russ. And I said, listen, if we're not going to draft a quarterback, I would be all in on bringing in a Sam Darnold. I didn't realize Zach Wilson was going to be as quickly available as he was, but I was all in on him. Mm-hmm. The only guy I didn't really want was Justin Fields. And even he's playing pretty fucking good. And then and look, another guy who has moved away from a franchise that is notoriously shitty at developing quarterbacks. He goes to Pittsburgh, and he's having a pretty good year. I'm not saying he's lighting the world on fire.
All right. Have you watched any Pittsburgh games? I got to watch.
I watched the entire one against the Broncos.
Oh, duh. Okay, that makes sense. But what about, I saw the end of a half. When the game's end, it goes to another game,
Mm-hmm.
and the Pittsburgh game came on, and it was the last fourth quarter. And you watch Justin Fields, and he doesn't look like Chicago Justin Fields.
No.
Chicago Justin Fields dropped back, immediately scrambled behind the line. It was just all right, where's my first read? He's not open. Fuck it, I'm going. And you look at Pittsburgh, and I guarantee you, I can't think of who the OC is, or Mike Tomlin must have went out there and said, "You're not doing this." They already didn't want to play him to begin with. They were trying him out at punt returner in the preseason, if you remember, because they were just like, he wasn't getting it in practice. He was just like not putting it together.
Matt O'Canada.
They hate him too. So he wasn't getting it. And
yeah, he's gone. It's Arthur Smith now.
Oh, okay. Arthur Smith makes a lot more sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
Arthur Smith's a good offensive mind because he was in Atlanta before they rushed him out of there.
Yeah, when they just were like, get the fuck out.
Yeah, they're like, look at all the players we got. Get out of here. Now they got Morris.
Yeah, Matt Canada was like one of the reasons why that offense was so putrid last year.
And
I forgot about that. I forgot that was a big reason.
And don't forget, you're watching Fields, and if he doesn't have his first two reads open, check down. No more running, no more sprinting off. He'll have like 30 yards rushing, which is whatever. No, anybody can do that. It's
That's
not a big
fine.
deal.
That's 3 first downs.
That's normal.
That's keeping the chains moving
I don't want
numbers.
60, 70-yard guys like Lamar Jackson who feels like he has to run 3 times a drive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fields seems like they very much were just like, and I think he knows it because when they interview Tomlin after the game, they're 3-0. They look good. They're playing well all across. They're playing good ball all around right now. They're very consistent. And they asked Tomlin after the game, hey, Fields is looking good. Is he just going to be the starter the rest of the year? And he's like, no. He's like, I tell you guys this and he gets aggravated. I tell you every week. Russ is hurt. When he's in a healthy state, at the point where I have to make a decision, I'll make a decision at that time. So essentially, leaves the door open that either one of them could play. So that way, you're getting the best of Fields still, as opposed to saying he's the starter,
right.
And that he takes that gas off the pedal. You know what I mean? Takes the foot off the gas.
Yeah. He's right. He's not. He's still looking over his shoulder, trying to win this job outright.
Absolutely.
And before we go any further, too, I just want to remind everybody there is a link to our YouTube channel in the description of the show. If you haven't subscribed to that yet, please go ahead.
Please subscribe to the YouTube channel because
we want to start going live on YouTube, but we need a minimum amount of subscribers before we can do that.
And we're close too.
Yeah, very close. I think we need like 9 more people.
Everybody like in the live right now that's not subscribed went and subscribed,
I think we'd be good.
I think we would be good, and we can go live.
So yeah, if you could take 30 seconds and just do that for us, we'd appreciate it. That way we can go live on YouTube as well. So we just have another avenue, another platform, and then there's other content we're going to be doing on YouTube Live as well. I got some stuff in the works.
That's right. You were talking about that too.
So I've been working on that. But anyway, back to football. But when you look at Fields, Darnold, Baker Mayfield, 3 guys that are having really good, or at least have done complete 180s in their career to this point, have left 3 places that are just notoriously horrible in developing quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we always say, right? It always starts at the top. Ownership, GM, head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get the quarterback, and then maybe things will start to flourish. I mean, look at the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, the Chiefs have been they've been NFL royalty since the AFL days. They are
yes.
They've been around. The Hunts have owned that team forever. Ownership was never a problem with the Kansas City Chiefs. The problem was they never had the head coach. They tried the Scott Pioli, bring him in as the GM, and he hired was it Herm Edwards, and then they went on and they had a couple other people, and then they finally settled on Andy Reid, and it became
who was right before Andy Reid? I don't remember anymore.
Give me a second.
Was it Herm?
No.
I gotta look it up. I got it. Continue with your thought. I'm sorry.
So, but you look at the way. No, it was Matt Castle and.
I fucking hate Google sometimes. It says list. I put list of Chiefs former head coaches. Number 1, Andy Reid. Number 2, Smiling Dick Vermeil. Like, why did someone put Smiling Dick Vermeil? Hold on. It's going to be right here. God damn it. All right. So Romeo Crennel was the last one. Holy shit.
Was it Romeo?
Romeo Crennel, 2011 and 2012.
Oh,
and
yeah, that's right. Todd Haley. That was who I was thinking of.
Oh, my God. You remember Todd Haley?
Yep.
He only lasted
the
a season.
old Pittsburgh OC.
Man, they went through coaches like crazy for a while.
That's what I'm saying. They went through a lot of coaches, and then they finally settled on Andy Reid. They get Alex Smith. They start to become a consistent 10, 11, 12 win team. Then they draft Patty Mahomes, and now we've seen they've won 3 out of the last 5. I mean, they are the current dynasty in the NFL, and we'll get into it as we go.
They're the new Patriots.
Listen, and oh boy, are they! Oh boy, in more ways than one, motherfuckers. But we'll get into that.
I laugh when I see these games every week. At the end of a Chiefs game, everyone's like the refs, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I laugh like Ted DiBiase in wrestling.
Sean's like 20 years of that dream. But no, so you look at the way that these teams have functioned now. Minnesota's doing it right. They've got the new stadium. They've got the good ownerships. The Wills are good owners. They've got Kevin O'Connell. They got the head coach. Now he's making chicken salad out of chicken shit right now. If you believe that Sam Darnold was in fact chicken shit. Now, I personally don't subscribe to that. I always thought Sam Darnold had an immense amount of talent, and I knew the day the Jets drafted him that talent was going to go unrealized. And it did. Then, he goes to Carolina. And that was just like, no, that's not going to work. Mm-hmm. Then he gets jettisoned from there. And now he's starting with the Minnesota Vikings. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're either the number 1 or number 2 offense in the league in terms of points scored right now.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Because it was them, and I think Buffalo's going to be up there now, too.
Buffalo, it's exactly what we said to begin the year before the season even began. We said 100% of the offense is going to be Josh Allen. We have been 150% correct. The offense is Josh Allen. If Josh Allen gets hurt at all, Buffalo is done.
But that can be said for any team with a starting caliber quarterback who's,
No.
If Mahomes gets hurt, the Chiefs are done.
I think if Mahomes gets hurt, that team is still good enough to keep winning games. I think Buffalo may not win another game if Josh
Minnesota's
Allen gets hurt.
third right now in terms of
You looked
points
that up
scored.
fast.
I know where to go, buddy.
Well, I'm also on my phone. I'm cheating. Baltimore's number 1? No. I'm in the wrong thing. This can't be right. Baltimore's been ass.
No, Buffalo's now number 1 as of last night. Baltimore is 11th. So not great.
They suck.
But to the point, we'll get back to what we were talking about here. Let's talk. So the Minnesota Vikings, and they're doing it on both sides of the ball too. That's the other thing. The Vikings are not only yes, Sam Darnold is without a doubt the now New Orleans is going to be up there. I think that's going to be number 2.
Yeah, and that's what's his name? Kubiak's kid, Clint
Kubiak. Trust me, man. I'm a very big fan. And look, and all of a sudden, Alvin Kamara is just that one cut zone read offense running game. Oh wow, never seen that one before.
You watched the whole video I sent you about Belichick, right?
Oh yeah.
And how he treat that. By the way, Belichick loves throwing digs to the Jets because that same thing.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
He goes. Listen.
Send me that video. We should play that video.
All right, I'll send it to you.
Send me that video on the website so I can get that up there.
I fucking let me go all the way back. I was watching that video, and the best thing is, let me see if I can just send it.
So
I just sent it in the chat again, just the link.
Well,
to it.
we'll hold on. We'll talk about the video in a second when we pull it up.
All right. You want me to download the video and send it to you, or no?
Just send it to me on WhatsApp, and I'll download it.
I did.
Okay, perfect. So is it on Twitter?
It's on X, yeah. X
gonna give it to you. So you've got this offense now in Minnesota that nobody saw coming. Now we all know that Justin Jefferson is
freak,
absolutely just call it what it is. Number 1A in the NFL.
Yeah.
Receiver. But no one saw them doing this with Sam Darnold.
No
one saw them doing this with J.J. McCarthy. In fact, you go back 4 weeks ago, preseason, we were talking about the Minnesota Vikings maybe having the worst quarterback room in the NFL. Mm-hmm. When you looked at McCarthy, Darnold, and
there has to be who the guy was. I don't remember.
It was somebody else who you just were like,
it was a journeyman.
Yeah. So they had basically a rookie and 2 journeymen, 2 reclamation projects, or a reclamation project, a journeyman, and a rookie. And you're looking at that going, this is going to be fucking horrendous. Through 3 weeks, and I know it's only 3 weeks, but they're the number 3 offense in the NFL. And they're 3-0.
Nick Mullins,
thank you. Nick Mullins.
Hey, there's a 4th quarterback on the list.
Oh?
Brett Ripien.
Oh, right, yes. Former Broncos great.
Son of?
Was it Mark? Mark Ripien?
Was it Ken Ripien?
The commander, the Redskins quarterback.
Yeah, was it Mark Ripien? That was Ken. I fucked it up. It is Mark Ripien. Fuck off.
I thought so.
God
I was like,
damn
wait.
it.
Yeah, because I wanted to say Brett, but then you're like, no, his name's
No,
Brett.
that's-
I'm like, wait.
No, that's
All right.
That's Favre. He's got other shit going on right now.
Brett Favre, man.
I don't believe him. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, well, why? You would be right to not for now.
He's in front of Congress. He's like, he's doing the old OJ defense. They're like, try on this glove. He's like, he's shaking. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
We know you're faking, you motherfucker.
He's like, and then he gives like an out. He's like, if I don't have full Parkinson's, I have CTE. I'm like, fuck you, using all the buzzwords in court.
He's just trying to get out of going to jail for stealing tax money.
$700,000. Yeah.
I don't think he stole it. I think he just used his influence to get a politician to steal it. But
Yes, it's exactly what happened.
6 to
But
1.
he knew about it.
Victimless crimes, Patty. So that's our first 3-0. The second 3-0 team, obviously last night, the Redskins.
Never saw that coming.
That was the biggest underdog win of the week, 7.5.
Wild.
7.5 point underdogs on Monday night on the road at the 0-2 Bengals, who, not for nothing, and we'll get into them when we get into the bad and or the ugly, but
Just horrible.
you did not see a Joe Burrow-led team
No.
just getting dusted at home by a rookie quarterback on Monday Night Football.
No.
Not with their backs against the wall.
Dude, this team isn't even playing. If you watch the Bengals, they're like lifeless
And
out there.
the Bengals are my Super Bowl pick, right?
Mine too.
We both picked the Niners and the Bengals.
I had fucking Joe Burrow as MVP.
Oh, things are looking really rough for us right now. Now, we'll do the Bengals in a second, but to Joe Burrow's credit and to his point, he did bring up a good point post game. Like, listen, we're not dead yet. Okay, we haven't even played a division game yet. You know, the Bengals haven't played anybody in the division yet, so it's not, it's not good, but it's not over yet. That being said, I think the last 0-3 team to make the playoffs, to start 0-3 and make the playoffs, was the 2019 Texans.
Yeah, but that was completely dumb luck.
And yeah, I don't know how much I would. I think that's it. I think that's the only team to ever start 0-3 and still make the postseason in the NFL. So you're trying to become the second team to start 0-3 and make the postseason. Now, if anybody could do it, it would be Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. But fundamentally, the Bengals got a lot going on in-house. But let's talk about that in a minute. The Redskins, we already kind of touched on it. But listen, Jaden Daniels, we liked Jaden Daniels coming out.
Almost perfect. 21 of 23.
The best game by a rookie ever, statistically. And it's not like, and listen, I'm not sitting here, it's not like, let's not, act like he went up against the 85 Bears or the 2015 Broncos or the 08 Steelers. All right, he was going up against a Cincinnati Bengals team that we both kind of acknowledged, even though we were picking them to go to the Super Bowl this year. Their defense had some holes, and it had a lot. They had a lot left to be desired. Put it that way.
I don't get what's happening with that team. Is incredibly talented with talent.
I think we must have missed on the Bengals over the summer. Like, there had to have been telltale signs that we just missed.
Everybody wanted a contract. Every single player. They
And
all wanted
how many
contracts.
did they give out? None.
2.
They dragged out these contract negotiations with some of these players. I mean, look at Bates. He's down in Atlanta killing it right now. Could have had him.
Nope, they didn't want him. They didn't want to bring him back or pay him.
They didn't want to bring him back.
They didn't. They franchise tagged T. Higgins and then ignored him all summer. Apparently,
Mm-hmm.
they told him we're not going to give you an extension. You're going to play in the 1-year deal. Jamar Chase asked for a new deal. They completely ignored him and they were like, "We're not doing it," which pissed him off too. And he missed all of camp. And then Joe Burrow was like, "I'm not going to practice because I'm still coming back from like an injury." And they were like, "That's fine." So like most of your biggest stars were either in contract disputes or not practicing together.
And if you're T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, like, you're looking at how they've treated some of the better players, especially on the defensive side, and you're like, how do you have any good faith going forward?
Right.
So, again, Washington didn't beat some world beater on defense, but for Jaden Daniels to go out there and do that and play the way he did,
Lights out.
and I mean, yeah, you're right. Like, there's no other way to say it. Even, I don't care if you're playing the 08 Lions.
Mm-hmm.
To go 21-23 and basically have a perfect game and pitch a perfect game.
And then run for 39 yards, very manageable, and still scored in the ground too. 3 total touchdowns.
Yep. I mean, it was great. And you know what this is? and listen, I'm not so sure how that division is going to shake out. The Cowboys got problems. The Eagles, they kind of lack a head coach right now, and Jalen Hurts has looked fucking horrible.
Yep, sounds about right.
The Giants, they're the Giants, dude. Like, are we really going to sit here and act like the Giants are going to catch lightning in a bottle and Danny Dimes is going to flip the switch? I mean, I know Malik Neighbors has looked great, but
I think that whole team's getting a reboot after this offseason.
I mean, but that division, as good as it should be on paper, I don't know that it's as good as. I don't know that it's as good. It's going to be as good as it should be. I mean, we said Philadelphia was going to be a disappointment preseason. That was one of our preseason picks. Mm-hmm. We said they were still going to make the playoffs, probably still win the division, or at least be there with Dallas at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But we said they were going to underachieve this year. Because what did we say over the summer? The Bill Belichick watch list, which is now starting to grow really quickly. Philadelphia was number one on that list.
Do you see the fan mock-ups? It's him like standing on the side looking up, and it's just like Dallas gear, Philadelphia gear, Bengals gear. It just shows like a new team every week.
Yeah.
Of like where Belichick could be, and now Belichick is hitting all the circuits. He's hitting everything.
Oh, he's doing all sorts of shit.
The podcast, the Manning cast, the Inside the Coach Edition, and every time he talks, he gives thoughtful, jokingly like condescending like remarks, and everyone's just like, this guy's incredible. Like everyone's like, how is this guy not a head coach? And it's like the fucking Patriots fans like me who are like, we should have never gotten rid of him. I don't give a shit about his surly attitude or that he wasn't talking to the media. That's his character. He doesn't fucking care about that. It means nothing. Correct. And now and all the players that would always say it, like, this is Bill. Like, this is how he ran the meeting rooms. His people in front of him are Mike Lombardi, Chris Long, and Chad Ochocinco that he does that whole thing with. And I know you're going to bring up the video, and this is an excellent, excellent, excellent video. If anybody that's listening to us and watching this, if you have the opportunity to watch as much Bill Belichick stuff as you can, watch it this year because he is done after this. He's going to be one and done. He's going to be back coaching a team next year, and they're going to fawn over this man. And then whatever team that is, they're going to break the coaching record. He's going to get the most wins as the head coach of all time. He's going to have all these accolades, and you're going to love it for that short 2-year window. But this is just like how he runs the meeting room, how he does all this stuff. It's just a fantastic inside the mind of one of the most brilliant football people of all time, telling you how it goes. And how in-depth and precise he goes is what makes it special.
All right, so we'll do this when we get to the bad and the ugly. We'll put that video up.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I want to stick with this, with the rest of this list here first real quick, just because we already kind of covered the Vikes and the Skins. We did touch a little bit on the Steelers because we're just doing the quick 3-0 teams here. The Steelers, in my opinion, I thought this would be the most surprising 3-0 start to the season, but I guess it kind of should be the least surprising just because of how good that defense is. I mean, listen, they went into Denver and they made Bo Nix look every bit of like a rookie.
But we thought the offense was going to be shit.
And they kind of are shit. But they're scoring one more point than their defense is giving up for 3 straight weeks, at least.
They need.
So that's all they got to do. They're winning games the Pittsburgh Steeler way, if you will. They're not having to go out there. I mean, I'm talking like pre-Antonio Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Juju Smith Steelers. Back when it was, Jerome Bettis and Plaxico Burress and Antoine Randall, and they were like, yeah, we're going to throw the ball 16 times today.
And it was fine.
And run it 30.
You could definitely do that.
And we're going to do that. And they would win. That being said, I think Mike Tomlin needs to get more credit in general outside of like those people because I feel like Pittsburgh fans hate him the most, which is just mind-boggling to me. I don't think people realize how hard it is to win Super Bowls in this league. And yet Mike Tomlin consistently has your team in a position like to get you there. Now, Big Ben at the end of his career was not the same.
Of course not.
The talent was depleted on the team. It takes sometimes 2 or 3 years to replace the talent. They go out, they get George Pickens. You get TJ Watt. You get Joey Porter Jr. Like, they've got some ballers now. Mm-hmm. And now they're looking for that final piece, which is the quarterback. And they don't need they don't need Joe Burrow. They don't need Pat Mahomes or or Aaron Rodgers to win games in Pittsburgh like that. They just need a guy who's going to go out there, take care of the football, give us 20 to 24 points.
Mm-hmm.
Get us in position, field goals, touchdowns, get us a couple touchdowns, couple field goals, and we're going to win a bunch of football games. And when January rolls around, if you take care of the football, you're probably going to win.
Mm-hmm.
At the very end of the day, the team that commits the least amount of mistakes usually wins. So Pittsburgh Mike Tomlin needs to get more credit, in my opinion, for being as good of a coach as he is. I don't think when we talk about the great coaches in this league, Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, we know all the names that come up.
He won't get the credentials. He's gonna be someone that history will look favorably on, and they're gonna say, why wasn't this guy talked about more?
I mean, he's only the third coach in Steelers history. You had Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin.
That's it. Done.
That's it. There's your three. So this is not something, and that's what I love about Pittsburgh, is they don't just write a guy off and say like, we're fucked. Like, no, they do their due diligence. They find the guy that they want, and then they hire him, and then they stick with him, and they see it through.
Yeah, and he's been great.
And it's phenomenal. I mean, is it yielded as many Super Bowls as they would have liked? No, of course not. The Steelers have been there.
How about Cowher? It took Cowher till the very end.
His second to last year.
Like he was talking about retiring before winning anything, and they were competitive most of his years.
Yeah. I mean, you go back to, pre-Big Ben, 2003, they were like, I think they were 6-10.
Yeah, but I mean,
that was what got him Big Ben.
He was still getting it done with Tommy Maddox. He was getting it done with Charlie
Batch.
Charlie Batch, thank you. I couldn't think of his last name. Cordell Stewart, obviously, was a big, well-known guy. But then he had like a bunch of like those fill-in dudes that wasn't Kittner there for like a cup of coffee or something like that.
I mean, you'd have to go back. I'd have to go back and look. I forget who was all part of the Steelers.
They were always competitive.
But
though.
Tommy Maddox, I think, was the most
straight out of the XFL
one. But yeah, because I remember he started, I think, most of the games for him in 2003, and then he started week 1 of 2004, got hurt. Big Ben came in, they lost that game, and then they went on that run of 15 straight wins.
Yep.
In Big Ben's rookie season. So,
Dennis Dixon started in 2010 as well.
Dennis Dixon, I remember him.
Charlie Batch. Byron Leftwich played a couple of games as starter.
That's right, yeah, he did.
Holy shit. This list goes back for a while.
Yep. I think Mike Tomlin's first playoff loss was to David Garrard, wasn't it? Speaking of Byron Leftwich's.
Holy shit.
I think that was 2007.
Unbelievable.
But anyway.
Neil O'Donnell. I forgot Neil O'Donnell was a big Cowher guy.
Well, he was the one that took him to the Super Bowl.
Yes, he was.
But I was thinking more like
Mike Tomczak.
I was thinking more late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Post Neil O'Donnell. But yeah, Tomlin needs to get his credit. And let's give him his due. The fact that he started off this season 3-0, I mean, I don't know. It's just, to me, that's fucking unbelievable. And if they stay healthy, listen, they're in a good position.
The Michael Vick led 2015 Steelers.
That's right.
4 games as starter for Mike Vick.
Yep. And 2015, too. That was the year they went into Denver and lost in the divisional round.
Yep.
Big Ben was healthy for that one.
Devlin Hodges. Didn't remember that dude.
Nope. Why would you?
He played 7 games in 2019. Started.
I know. Why would you, though? It's rough. It's a rough go. And then the final 3-0 team. I mean, this one just, I can't still, for the life of me, figure this one out. Seattle Seahawks.
I don't understand it either. They should have lost to the Patriots. Should have, could have, would have. I'm not doing that game. But they were meh against a not-so-great New England team on 2 weeks ago.
They were meh against a not-so-great New England team. They got, I'm not going to say they had a good matchup week 1 against Denver. I had that game as kind of a coin flip. Mm-hmm. And Denver just couldn't quite, they couldn't put the ball in the end zone. They lost. That was a tough game to lose because it felt like they left a lot on the table. I mean, 26-20, in Denver. And in Seattle.
But then this past week.
And then this past week they get a banged up Miami team that I don't think anybody, does anybody know what direction Miami's going in?
Well, I think people are finally starting to agree with me that Mike McDaniel's not a head coach. I'm like, I fucking told you 2 years ago he wasn't a head coach.
I don't know that Mike McDaniel is so much the problem I mean, you lose your first and second quarterbacks, you're going to have a rough time. I don't care who you are.
I don't know.
Listen, you know how I feel about Mike McDonald. I mean,
You might as well be Mike McDonald.
Mike McDaniel. Like, I'm not sold on him, but.
No, not at all. That team.
Mike McDonald, the Seahawks head coach.
Great.
I mean, listen, Geno Smith, they got rid of Russ. Let's think about what Seattle has done the last 2 years.
It's a ballsy move.
They fleeced the Broncos in getting rid of Russ. All right. I mean, the Broncos compounded that mistake by hiring Nathaniel Hackett right off the rip. I still hope, I'm hoping against hope that Mike Tomlin's true to his word and that when Russ is healthy, he does come in and play. So that way Steelers fans can learn to loathe him like I did.
Would it piss you off? This is just a personal question. Would it piss you off if that scenario happens, he comes in and plays very well?
Yeah. Yeah, it would piss me off. That would piss me off even more.
Oh, Jesus.
But if he's like, but there's a difference between like them winning games with Russ under center.
Yeah.
And Russ winning them games. Like,
I mean him winning games. I mean like old Seahawks Russ.
If old Seahawks Russ shows up, yeah, I'm going to be livid. I'm going to be like,
fair enough.
The fuck was that? What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Mr. Unlimited. You come to Denver for 2 years and you stink the fucking joint up.
The biggest thing you did was the meme.
And we pay you fucking $80 million to fuck off.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
Yeah.
On the plane ride. Let's ride.
With the high knees on the plane and shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But I don't think they're going to get off of Justin Fields, in my opinion. I think Tomlin is just like you said. He's playing the game of keeping Fields looking over his shoulder, like knowing he's got to keep playing well in order to keep that job, that there's a guy that can take the job from him. But if Russ is anything like he was in Denver, this whole team's going to hate him in a matter of weeks. They're going to be so sick of his shit.
Well, I mean, week 1, he wasn't going to play, and he was in full uniform with eye black on. As if he was going to run into the game anymore.
He's so corny, dude.
That was the cringiest shit I've ever seen in my life. And
so corny.
And I'm still to this day, I was like, I'm pretty sure you can get fined for that.
And I had to do, I was on the Russ train for years.
Me too.
And you know it.
I thought Russ and Sean Payton were going to kill it.
So didn't everyone. Until Sean Payton was like, I cannot stand
this
quarterbacks that play like you. Like you don't. Oh, God damn it, dude. I still have nightmares of him running into sacks on Christmas Eve against the Patriots. Like, just like, what are you doing, dude? Nelson in the chat says, send Russ to Miami. Listen.
Oh, my God, please.
If Miami is going to, Miami might have to do something, because I don't know. I know everybody says he's going to come back. He's out for 4 weeks. He'll be back.
Did you see Tua missed his fucking doctor's appointment?
Week 5 or 6. What, did he forget?
The joke is and they said, oh, no, there was a mix-up. He thought he was supposed to be going this day. And everyone's like, did he fucking forget about a doctor's appointment? About seeing, a neurologist?
Would you be surprised?
No, I would not be surprised.
And the other thing is, too, Sean, at what point, can the NFL... with all their independent neurologists or whatever, can they tell the Miami Dolphins you can't keep trotting this guy out there?
They might be behind the scenes, not publicly.
I don't think they can publicly, but would you be surprised if the NFL was like, this is a fucking PR disaster waiting to happen?
If he goes out there again, if he comes back this season and he gets and he gets fenced again,
bro, if he starts seizing up on the field or something because he has a bad concussion, the NFL is going to have a real tough pill to swallow. Trying to sell us on player safety?
Have you noticed the NFL has washed all their social media of anything Tua and DeMar Hamlin? Because DeMar Hamlin was the one that kind of injured him accidentally.
Yeah.
And it was the guy who almost died, almost killing a guy who has massive brain injuries. And it was just every news outlet's wet dream for football.
The irony was not lost on me when that happened.
And the NFL was like, I'll delete all of this.
There was that scene, I can't remember what movie it was, but it was the scene with the little sister yelling at the older brother, why couldn't you just stay dead?
Oh,
and
not Jake Gyllenhaal, sorry, Tobey Maguire. It was the war movie. He comes back and he's all PTSD.
Yes.
Couldn't you just stay dead?
Yep, and it's Miami Dolphins fans and DeMar Hamlin. I fucking died. The memes were out of control. They were great. But, I don't know where Miami goes from here. Like, I don't know what they do.
It's over.
I mean-
I think they packed it in because every time you talk to Mike McDaniel or they talk to him, he's like, "Oh, Tua's doing well. He's coming back." It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Everyone and their mother knew Tua wasn't the answer,
Yeah.
and you gave this guy $1 billion in the offseason. And then this offseason, after you give him all that money, he stops taking these like self-defense courses to protect his head and gets hit on like the easiest tackle in the world where Damar Hamlin like cradles his dome. He like blacks out on the field. It's like, this is bad.
It's not good. But to the point of the Seattle Seahawks, I think of all the 3-0 teams, this is the least impressive. You know what I mean? Like you beat the Broncos at home by 6 opening day. Okay. I know, like, maybe if we look back at the end of the season, Denver wins, rips off a bunch of wins and says, oh, okay, which I believe they will do. But, they will look back and say, like, oh, well, that was a pretty good win. But, like, the Patriots, you beat them by 3. You probably should have lost that game.
They should have lost that game, honestly.
I'm not going to say they should have lost to Denver because Denver never really looked like they had that. They were always kind of playing from behind, I feel, and in the second half, even though they had the lead, at the halftime of that game. So, couple plays here, a couple plays there, and then they put 21-point win over the Miami Dolphins, but Miami only scores 3. You didn't exactly go out there and light it up, but 3-0 is 3-0, dude. I mean, I don't know. They're leading their division right now, and there's something to be said for that. Now, I think they've got a pretty decent test this week. Yeah, they're at Detroit. And then they get the Giants, the Niners, at the Falcons, Buffalo, and the Rams before their bye week. So all through week 9. Not exactly, I wouldn't call it a murderer's row, but that's not an easy run.
But we're going to see teams start to become who they are. We talked about it a little bit off air before we came on air. Don't forget to anybody that's just, going with how the NFL is doing things right now. The NFL cut off a whole week of training camp. So they eliminated the 4th week, and they said, okay, 3 weeks of preseason, and then right to games. So you eliminate an entire week of practice before the beginning of the season, and you also tell these teams, hey, you can't do double days anymore. You can't do more than this many practices. You can't tackle each other. You can't practice tackling. You can't do this. At what point do these guys, they don't get punched in the mouth? If they're going to train to be boxers, right? You want to spar a little bit. But, hey, you're training for a fight that's coming up in 6 weeks. You could only spar 3 times between now and then.
That's why I couldn't stand when I trained MMA for a little bit.
It's like,
I couldn't stand it because I don't like getting punched in the face. And the guy who was coaching me was like, bro, that's the name of the game. Like, you got to learn to get punched in the face.
You got to learn to like it and not be affected by it.
And have it so it doesn't affect you when you do. And I'm like, yeah, nah, this ain't for me. I don't know. I can't. I'm not. That ain't my game. I'm not about that. You know what I mean? Like,
it's. And we also said it again. It's everyone sees the byproduct. The byproduct is there's more injuries. There's more injuries to the bigger name players. The offense suffers. The offense is already suffering because these teams aren't practicing at full capacity, and it always gives the advantage to the defensive teams. Now, during the season, it always corrects itself out. End of the year, the teams that are supposed to come out from the pack, and they do their own thing. But generally, in the beginning of the years now, especially in this new NFL rule, defensive teams win the games more often than not, and that's why.
Early in the year, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If you can hold a team under 20, you're probably going to do all right.
That's most games right now.
Right. The
over-under for Vegas is like 42.5 every game.
Scoring is way down. And I hate this argument that I get from people all the time because I'll see it on Twitter and everything else. And anytime there's a hit, like a big hit or something, these hits should be banned and he should be suspended and kicked out of the league and you can't do that. And it's like,
whose fault is that?
And it's like, well, first of all, I hate those people. Like, if you're one of those people that's like, that hit has no place in this game, I'm like, no, you have no place in football. Like, that's football. Football is meant to be a violent collision sport.
Yes, it is.
That's why we love it. So when you try to legislate out these hits and you say, oh, well, it's all about player safety. Cool. And when you push these people on it, ultimately what it comes down to for them is they say, well, I don't want to watch backups on Sundays. Oh, okay. So it is about your fantasy football team and it is about your DFS and your betting. You don't actually care about player safety because if you did, you would be sitting here going, why do we keep changing all these rules, and why do more people keep getting hurt? We keep changing rules in order to prevent injuries, and yet the injury list gets bigger and bigger every single year. We have more injuries, more concussions, more everything, all because and yet we're constantly coming up with new ways to legislate the violence out of football.
Stupid.
Which is completely fucking retarded on every level.
Stupid.
You can't do it. You're going, and we said this jokingly 10, 15 years ago. It's going to be a flag football league someday. Now we're saying it dead ass serious.
It's officially going to be an Olympic sport as flag football.
The Pro Bowl is now flag football. If you told Peyton Manning back in 2006 that game would be a flag football game in less than 20 years, he would be like, I'll quit right now. Because you know how important the Pro Bowl was to Peyton.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of guys back then. But you can't tell me that this game, that's not the way. But when it comes down to it, these people that advocate for it, and you get these fake, phony, little bullshit, bugmen, weasel motherfuckers, betas, you know, their wives have boyfriend-ass motherfuckers who are sitting there like, that hit has no place in this game. No, bro, you have no place in this game.
It should have a place in the game.
It is the game.
That's what puts fear in the team of like stopping them from scoring. It's we grew up in a different generation of allowing this, and then like I kind of alluded to it, I said, whose fault is this? It is the NFL's fault for making the game like this, because now, like you said, every week if there's a big hit, I immediately look to the bottom of the screen and look for the yellow flag.
Yep, absolutely.
Every single time.
You,
I'm like,
when you used to be, you jump out of your chair and just, fuck yeah.
Nope, not anymore. Now you're tense.
Yep, now you're like, are they going to throw it? Oh, yeah, there it is.
Well, even when you see the guys celebrating, like, oh, they get up and they like flex and they pump and they're screaming, I'm like,
all the receiver,
you're gonna wait 4 seconds.
All the receiver or whoever has to do is be like,
every single time
and
they go.
And the rest like, okay, he asked.
Yes, and the asking, if a guy gets hit bad and he's like selling it and he's like, referee's like, he's right, he's dead.
He was defenseless. Yep, whatever the fuck that means. I don't know. Maybe if you don't want your defenseless receivers getting hurt, don't have your shitty quarterbacks leave them out to dry.
What did Peyton and what did both Mannings and Brady and Rodgers say? Don't throw out hospital balls. Like, you're just going to get you guys killed.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a real thing. But let's do the bad. So we did the good. We did the 3-0 teams. The bad, oh boy. And this is where it gets ugly. Cincy, Jacksonville, Tennessee, and Atlanta is what I had on my list. And I want to start at the end of that list with Atlanta. Because we're talking about officials and calls and everything else. So let's talk about that Kansas City Atlanta game real quick, because
it wasn't last night. That was Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Yes.
So Sunday night, you have Kirk Cousins in prime time, which
bad
never usually ends well. But this game was going pretty back and forth. Like, you know, the Falcons looked like they were gonna, like they had the Chiefs on the ropes. They had the champs on the ropes, and Kirky lets a ball fly up the seam to Kyle Pitts, and he gets absolutely mauled in the end zone by I forget who the Kansas City defender was, but
he was just straight up holding him.
He gets absolutely fucking mauled.
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. Keep going.
And no call. And we're like, and everybody's looking around, okay, I know, you know, I'm all for letting the ticky-tack ones go and letting guys play defense, but this made what happened to Gronk, if you remember what happened to Gronk in Carolina, and what was that, was that 2012 or 2015?
No, it was like 15, 16.
It was 15.
It might have been 17.
No, it was 15.
It was 15.
It was 15 because that was one of the losses that cost the Patriots the home field against the Broncos, and they had to come to Mile High. It was very similar. That was the ice-up Sun game.
Yes.
So if that was the ice-up Sun game, that had to be 2012 then. Because it wasn't the same game. Was it? Because Aqib Talib was still on that team. Was still a Patriot.
No, so that was 2013 then, because 2014 Talib left and we get Darrell Revis.
Yes. Okay, so it was 13. All right. Because I remember Talib that was the ice-up Sun game. Mm-hmm. But you remember the play.
Yes, I do.
And I believe it was Luke Kuechly covering Gronk in the back of the end zone. And it was like, could they have called it? Absolutely. Should they have called it? I don't believe so. No, I think Kuechly's already at a disadvantage. Going up the 6 foot against a 6'7" Frankenstein fucking freak tight end. But I don't think it was enough to warrant a call in a game-changing situation like that. It was close, and if they had called it, I would have been like, that's lame, but I get it. This was not that. This was like, dude, I don't know what else you expect Kyle Pitts to do in this situation to bring this ball in, but this was textbook pass interference. This isn't, holding or illegal contact. This was full-blown PI in the end zone on what was about to be or could have been a game-winning drive.
Yes, it would have 100% hit.
Because
And the
now
Chiefs,
you've got first and goal at the 1 when you're in there. I believe that they were down 5 at that point.
It was Brian Cook. He's like a backup.
Yeah, so the Falcons were down 5 at this point.
Yes, touchdown would have put them ahead. And
the touchdown would have put them up. And they would have had first and goal from the 1. Now, again, there are no guarantees in this league. There's nothing saying that they would have got it in. But you give an NFL team 4 cracks at it from the 1-yard line. I don't know the exact percentage off the top of my head, but I would say it's probably in the high 90s. It's going across the goal line. Very rarely do we see fourth and goal stops when a team's had it at the 1 for 4 straight plays. Very rarely. We can count on one hand how many times a year we even see that situation, let alone how many times it gets stuffed. So I think the NFL's now got they've got an imaging problem with the officiating.
Yes, they do.
And
they've had one for quite a while.
I've been pounding this drum for 2 decades that you need to shrink the rule book, give the officials less shit to worry about, and let them worry about what's actually happening on the field. Not the intent, not was he in the strike zone of the defenseless receiver? Oh, no, he was a little high, a little low. Oh, I don't know, I wasn't looking at that. I don't care if a fucking left tackle is lined up 6 inches too far back off the line of scrimmage. Like, fuck all that bullshit, dude. Like, just don't give me that. Let them worry about the shit that actually affects the game. Holding, pass interference, offsides, things of that nature. They need to shrink the rule book.
Right.
There's too many calls now that are in the gray.
Most of the calls are gray area.
I just think the NFL is now, especially with gambling becoming legal, the NFL is now going to fall into that same trap of like where the NBA is at. Where it's going to become like, yeah, people bet on it, but the old mantra is never bet on the NBA. Never bet on the NBA. Like, how do they know the over-under? Like, the over-under is 210.5, and it hits 211. And you're like, because of that phantom foul at the end to give somebody 2 free throws?
The guy that gets fouled, the guy's like, I'm not even in the game. Like,
so
I've been sitting down for 3 minutes.
I've long been told never bet on basketball. Like, it's owned through and through by Vegas. So that's been since I was a little kid.
Vegas literally owns the NFL now.
Oh, yeah.
The stadium, the gambling, Caesars, DraftKings, FanDuel, it's all out there.
And you factor in the Taylor Swift effect. Mahomes, Kelsey.
Kelsey having a bad year.
A horrible year. But they're still playing well.
They're still winning.
They are, in fact, you could make an argument they are I would say one of the luckiest 3-0 teams you've ever seen.
And isn't it funny? Again, because if this was the Patriots, I feel like either it would be completely covered up or punished extremely. Rashid Rice, tons of issues off season. Like, did he kill someone or almost killed someone with the way he was driving?
Yeah, he got in an accident and then left the scene.
Yeah, it was like
Remember
9 cars were destroyed.
They had they were and they thought the car was stolen.
Yeah,
or it still might be. We don't know. Like, there was a whole bunch of shit he got into.
And then nothing. The NFL was like, that's okay.
Just no big deal.
But, other issues of guys speeding, killing people, guys banned for life in prison. They're like, he kind of deserved it. It's like, well, this could have happened here. Like,
he did kill somebody.
He did kill somebody, and he was driving recklessly. But shouldn't, something like that still serve like a punishment? That's what people are saying. Like, if he's driving the same speed.
Look at Leonard Little.
Leonard Little literally killed somebody.
Literally killed someone.
And so did Dante Stallworth.
Stallworth did do 30 days, though.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, because he got off. Because he wasn't... Because the guy he killed, that was a different thing. He actually got off scot-free and opted to do 30 days.
That was a terror situation because he was drinking. He was driving home. It was
He had
dawn.
gone home.
The guy was crossing a bridge on his way home.
Gone to sleep.
Yeah.
Woke up and then gone to drive to the
Stadium,
corner store or whatever to
Yeah.
get a Gatorade, I think it was. And some guy came out from between parked cars or something along those
It
lines.
was the guy jumped over.
It was an honest to God accident.
It
I
was.
don't know that the fact that Stallworth's blood alcohol level was above was at that limit or above the legal limit really mattered in that situation. I think that was one of those ones where even if he was stone cold sober, that guy was still walking out in front of his car for whatever reason. But Stallworth got off. His lawyer got him off on that. He was going to have to serve 0 jail time, and he felt so guilty about it that he opted to do 30 days, which some people would be like, 30 days. Ugh. Listen, I don't know if you've ever been to prison before, but 30 days in prison is no picnic. Yeah. Or even jail. It's just not somewhere you want to be. Trust me. 30 days, even to me, 30 days sounds like a fucking nightmare.
That's a whole month of your life you're never going to get back.
And not only that, but you're spending it in an absolutely fucking horrendous place. One of the worst places on earth.
Oh, people glorify prisons now. People are like, oh, it's great. You do
well,
whatever
maybe
you
in
want
Massachusetts.
Do whatever you want all day. They give you TVs and
in Massachusetts, you can... they give you tablets and, cell phones and everything else now. So, it's no big deal, bro. It's cushy.
What's the point?
And then, you go and you stab a CO and, they're just like,
take your cell phone away from
then you got senator politicians in the state saying we didn't rehab him enough. It's our fault. We didn't give him enough tablets and cell phone usage and maybe they need desktop computers. Maybe they need an Xbox, Maybe that will get their mind off of,
so make them into children.
Homicidal thoughts. Yes, pretty much. But anyway, I digress. I don't want to say too much. I'll get in trouble. But the whole Kansas City Chiefs thing, it's starting to stink to a lot of people. And I think my favorite part about it is living around here and hearing all these New England fans bitch about it.
Oh, I love it.
It's like the Spider-Man meme, Patriots fans and Chiefs fans. You get all the good calls, and the Patriots and the Chiefs fans what? No, this shit has been happening to the Patriots for 20 fucking years. It never fails. I'll never forget it when one of my buddies finally fucking woke up and smelled the roses with the Patriots. It was the Cleveland Browns at Gillette. I want to say it was 2012 or 2013, and Josh Gordon was in his element, he was in his prime.
Yeah,
and he had a long bomb against the Patriots, and the Browns were in a position to win this game, and Brady just goes and throws I wouldn't even call it a 50-50 ball down the sideline, and the defender kind of gets a little bit lost for a half a second, barely touches the fucking receiver, he drops it, doesn't catch it. And just the flags come raining in from all over. Yeah, and the Patriots are now they're in business. Now they're down inside the 20 with a minute and 10 to go in a timeout. And you're like, and my buddy was like, what the fuck? He's like, and that was the second or third call of that game that was gone completely against the Browns. That was so blatant. And he's like, I'm starting to fucking see what Fat is talking about now. This is fucking bullshit. And I'm like, oh yeah, welcome to the party, pal. And I'm like, you fucking doofus. I'm like, what do you think? I've been making this up my whole fucking life. I've been sitting here saying it it didn't happen. I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't believe my lying eyes. And any Patriots fan, you'll admit it. You'll be like, yeah, dude, we got the benefit of the doubt a bunch.
I love that shit.
And
sometimes it didn't work, and sometimes when we actually needed the call, and I'm like, that was that, and it's you're kind of handicapped because other times you'd be like, fuck, and all of a sudden it's flag, and I'm like, I'm on the 1 yard line. I ain't gonna say shit. You know what I mean? It's just you take it when you get it, but at the same time, it is frustrating. I don't really care about it that the Chiefs are getting all the calls right now because we're so not competitive that I'm like, it has no fucking effect on my life.
Right. If you were competing with the Chiefs for the 1 seed, you were
totally
5 or 6 years ago,
yeah, I'd be
it'd be a
this
different
is
story.
Bullshit.
Yeah. But I remember the 03-04 playoffs for the Patriots. 4 AFC playoff games. 03 they played the Titans and the Colts.
Yes.
In the divisional and AFC championship round.
Oh,
and
yes.
then they played in 04 the Colts and the Steelers.
Yes, they did.
In those 4 games, that physical Bill Belichick defense with Ty Law and Rodney Harrison and Teddy Bruschi and Willie McGinnis never once called for defensive holding or pass interference
Immaculate.
in 4 games.
They beat the shit
The
out of those
Patriots'
teams.
offensive line, after going up against Dwight Freeney, Javon Curse, Mathis, those speed rushers, and the entire fucking 05 or 04 Steelers with Larry Foote, Joey Porter, all those guys, never once was that offensive line called for holding.
Nope.
In 4 games.
They played
How
perfect.
can you go 4 games in the NFL and not get a holding call? It's not possible.
Great players.
You can call that in, and that was when I sat, and that was when I saw that and those numbers, and I went back and I checked it and I looked and I did my homework, and I was like, this is fucking bullshit. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, first of all, like, they're good enough as it is. They don't need your fucking help. But then all of a sudden you get, it's Tom Brady. He's young. He's got the hair going. He's Bill Belichick.
Wasn't 07 Brady yet.
And they were not 07, but he was getting there. And they became the darlings in the NFL.
Yes.
And they just and they were good, so it didn't help anybody else that they were that good already. And then we're getting the benefit of the doubt on top of it.
Right.
And you're like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you knew when you went to play the Patriots, you had to play perfect because you weren't just playing the Patriots, you were playing the officials too. And it was like, they're not getting called for holding. You will, they're not. So get ready. And then you would go out, you'd make one mistake, and you're like, that's it, we're fucked.
The best.
And
the absolute
for
best.
20 fucking years. So seeing all these Patriot fans cry about it now,
Why are they crying? They're not even watching the game.
because it kind of makes me, in a way, it makes me happy because I'm like, oh, now it's a fucking problem, huh? It wasn't a problem when it was happening to you fucking hypocrite. But also it kind of pisses me off because why couldn't it be happening to, like, I don't know, the Green Bay Packers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, any team that I don't fucking hate almost
Those teams
as much.
aren't saucy.
Those, I don't, could it happen to someone that I hate not almost as much as the Patriots? Like my hierarchy of hate in sports goes the Patriots, the Chiefs, huge gap, everybody else. The Raiders
Yeah.
are probably the top of the bottom of that gap. And that's pretty much it. Like, and then after that, it's like, I don't know, like I low-key hate like the San Francisco Giants for no reason. It's completely unfounded. Like there's no explanation for it. It's just one of those teams I'm just like, ugh.
Orange and black, you're like ugly as shit.
I love Barry Bonds. And I loved their closer there. What's his name? Fucking used to throw up the X with the beard. He was cool as shit.
Oh my god.
Tim
the
Lincecum. Like, I like their players.
guy threw up the X. Fuck, who was that?
Brian. Damn it. It was like 14, 13, somewhere in there.
I can't
15.
think of it at all.
But
Do you know remember I told you I took this whole year off from baseball?
yeah.
I don't think I'm going back.
Once you kind of take a year off from baseball, it takes a lot to get you back in it. I know we said we were going to talk about baseball a little
We
bit.
could talk about the Ohtani thing.
We'll
if you
talk.
want
Yeah,
to,
we'll touch on Ohtani in a minute at the end. But to keep with this whole good, bad,
Chiefs,
ugly thing.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs Falcons game was bullshit.
But it's also Kirk Cousins' fault because it's Kirk Cousins.
But
at
that
prime
being
time.
said, like the Atlanta Falcons, like you get Justin Simmons, you get Bates, you've got Kirk Cousins, like you've got Kyle Pitts, which again, I drafted Kyle Pitts in fantasy. I'm a fucking idiot. I know.
Well, how do you feel about just 2 stupid fucking calls in a row? It was 3rd and 1, 4th and 1.
So
The box, there's 9 guys in the box, and they're like, run it. I'm like, you're getting killed.
I'm sure you saw my post I put up on Facebook and Twitter.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe I don't think I saw it.
How many times have I said it every year?
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Okay, yes.
There are situations where head coaches just completely outthink themselves and they try to be so cute and so fucking clever that they just don't do the thing that is going to win them the game. You have 4th and inches. You have Kirk Cousins. It is damn near impossible to stop a QB sneak at that distance. Like, it's almost impossible.
Yes.
Tom Brady was the best at it. He was better than Jalen Hurts. Not even that. You would just wait, and then lean
Yeah.
over. Done. You couldn't stop it. Everybody knew it was coming, and you still couldn't stop it. It's one of the most unstoppable plays in all of sports. 4th and inches. We got to make a stop. You're probably not going to. So what do the Falcons do? Let's run a toss play. Let's run east-west instead of north-south in a situation where we need to gain this much distance. That is one of those situations where I lose my ever-loving fucking mind. Because head coaches in this league, people act like these head coaches are like these super geniuses and they know all this stuff.
They're not.
They're just a bunch of dudes that either played football or have been involved with football for years, and they still make dumb fucking decisions every fucking day.
All the time.
And I still stand by. I offer my services to any NFL team that wants me. I will just sit there on the sidelines or in a booth. I'll even just sit in the fucking club seats with a buzzer. And when you're lining up to do something stupid, I'm going to buzz in and go, don't do that. What are you doing? Why are you calling that? It's 4th and inches, bro. This isn't the second quarter. This is the game.
They had 2 cracks at it, though.
You give the fucking hand. You let Kirk Cousins take that ball and just fall forward. And you keep the drive alive and you live to fight another day. Because that's the kind of call that is going to lose you games. And when you lose games, you get fired. So if you want to keep your job, holler at your boy. I'll help you. I'll just sit there and be like, nope, that's dumb. Don't do that. Just don't do that. Like, oh, 1st and goal at the 1 yard line. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to run it 4 straight fucking times straight up the fucking middle. Don't give me a fade. Don't give me some cute little fucking naked boot. No, just run the fucking ball. Just run the fucking ball.
Right.
Power pigs, go do your fucking job. You know who's going to love that the most? The offensive lineman. You know who's going to hate that? The defense. And you know
they
who's,
get tired.
And you know who's going to, you know what? By the 3rd or 4th time you're doing it, those guys on the defensive side are going, fuck. We just stopped them 3 times. We got to stop them again. What the fuck? It's mentally draining.
I know the NFL is like peak athletes and like for anyone though, that is exhausting to do the same thing over and over at the same force 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
That fast. If you ran it 4 straight times, the chance of you gaining that 12 inches is like almost 100%.
Especially with the athlete now, with like a guy in the backfield that can take off from the 2 and just clear the whole fucking line.
Yes.
Like, all you have to do is go where that one linebacker that's waiting to catch you isn't. I mean, I'm making it sound a lot simpler than it is, but at the end of the day, it's the most simple play in all of sports. You line up your 11 guys and say, we're going to beat your 11 guys.
That's it.
And you just go out and you win a battle of man on man. Is the defense going to win it? Sometimes. But like we said earlier, you have 1st and goal from the 1 yard line. What are the numbers? What's the percentages of defenses that come up with that stop?
Right.
Almost none. And I bet you it's probably like in the 99th percentile if you include teams that end up kicking field goals. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so like if they had to, all right, you stopped us 3 times. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe that happens, 80% of the time.
Right.
That, the team doesn't, that, or 15 or 20% of the time the defense wins that. Maybe, if they're lucky, I guess. I don't know. I think it'd be even less than that. But these NFL coaches outsmart themselves, and they do dumb shit every single week. And you see it every week. Just watch Red Zone or watch any game. It doesn't matter. There's 2 games on Monday night again next week and the Sunday night game. Watch those 3 games. I guarantee you at some point, some coach is going to make a stupid fucking decision in that game. And it only gets
100%.
highlighted when that team loses because of it. We killed Dan Campbell last year, or everybody killed Dan Campbell last year for not kicking the field goal and going for it on 4th down.
Right.
Which, was it the right decision? No. Do I understand why Dan Campbell did it? Yes, that's his MO. That's how that team is built. They were always going to go for that, even though they probably shouldn't have. It is what it is. That being said, we see it every single week. Every year, there's dozens of examples of it. And a lot of them we don't really remember because it might not actually cost the team the game, or it happens in the 3rd quarter. And, they lose a possession, but, they still had 4 more, and they, this happened at the end, and that really could have been the difference. No. You've got to take, possessions in this league are very hard to come by. You have to make the most of them. And if you don't make the most of them, you lose games. And when you do something stupid like that on 4th and inches, forget the fucking holding call that wasn't called in the end zone. You kind of deserve to lose that game. So Kirk Cousins takes another L in primetime as we just, has become absolutely just.
It's a meme at this point.
Dude, it's just like, it's clockwork. Like, oh, Kirk Cousins playing at 4 in the afternoon or later? Well, give me the other team.
It's no. It's like he's snake bitten. Like he has to find a way of how his team is going to lose. He's going to be like, I can't believe I lost again.
So the The remaining 3 teams we have in the bad: Cincinnati, Jacksonville, Tennessee. I don't think we need to spend a shit ton of time on Tennessee, but you do have to fucking love the fact that Malik Willis came in for the Green Bay Packers and
Never saw that coming.
laid a whooping on the team that traded him, that drafted him, and then got rid of him
Never saw
because
that.
they didn't want they decided they wanted to go with Will Levis, and I like Will Levis.
Oh, he's looking like shit right now.
But again, is this going to be one of those things? Is he going to be the next Justin Fields, the next Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, where he leaves Tennessee and he's like, oh, there is competency in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Son of a bitch. Who knew?
Malik Willis had 202 yards passing, 13 of 19. Whoops. And he had 75 yards rushing, though. It's kind of a lot of rushing.
But that's kind of what his deal is.
I know, but that you can't do that forever.
Well, I don't think anybody's planning on Malik Willis being their quarterback forever.
Malik Willis is planning on being the quarterback forever.
Well, of course he is, but I mean, he wouldn't be a professional if he wasn't. But let's not mince words. That's Jordan Love's job when he gets back.
What's his timetable? I don't even know Jordan Love's timetable to come back.
I think it's a sprained MRI. I think it was a couple of weeks. I mean, a sprained MCL.
Couple of weeks for that?
I think so. I think they said like 3 to 6 weeks, but they were leaning more towards the 3.
I want to check it out right now.
So I don't really know. And I think that was already a couple weeks ago. So he's probably closer to coming back than we realize. Now, how effective he'll be, is he 100%? Who knows? We'll see. But Tennessee, we don't need to spend a lot of time on, but they are bad. They are a bad team.
They should have never got rid of Vrabel. For no reason, they got rid of Vrabel. They rebooted that whole team for no reason.
For none. I mean, well, they rebooted it in the wrong way. They got rid of the guy that had gotten them a little bit of success and kind of built the team in his image, and then they jettisoned him, and then they're like, oh, wait, no, but we kind of like that image now. We want that back. Oops. They're depleted of talent. They've got a rookie quarterback who likes to put mayonnaise in his coffee, which...
Not a rookie anymore.
Well, I mean, a second-year quarterback. Young quarterback. His hot ex-girlfriend is now dating some Denver Nugget. That's a bad hit.
The guy looks like a Temu version of Will Levis. Like a taller, thinner version.
Right? I mean, his ex-girlfriend's hot, but she's not like...
No, she's not unbelievable, but she has like a modeling agency.
Yeah, she's pretty small. She's pretty up there. I follow her on Instagram.
Duddy. What a name.
Gia. She's cute. But anyway, I digress. Tennessee's bad. They're depleted.
Suck.
They are. They're just bad.
They get rid of all their talent and they're stunned. They're like, "What the fuck?" They're like, "Why are we this bad after we just get rid of all of our talent?"
We kind of covered Cincy already, so we'll skip that.
No, we covered Cincy.
We covered Cincy. The last one we'll cover in the bad segment is Jacksonville. I mean,
it looks just awful.
Bro, I had Trevor Lawrence as my MVP this year.
What? Trevor Lawrence is doing spin moves.
Or was it my offensive player of the year?
No, I think you had him MVP.
I think it was MVP.
Trevor Lawrence from last night's game.
Damn.
He did a spin move.
Really
and
hoping
nobody,
to save face
and
on
nobody
that.
was in front of him.
I don't know what is going on with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've lost 8 straight games now dating back to last year.
Yeah, but they look bad.
They've started, I think, 0-3 in the last 4 straight seasons. Something like that. Like, it's something pretty ridiculous. Like, Jacksonville is, for the amount of talent that they have on that team, and I said at the beginning of last year, I liked the direction the Jaguars were headed, which is why I picked Trevor Lawrence to be here. They went and they got, what's his name, the defensive lineman in free agency. They grabbed, the linebacker from Philadelphia, led the Philadelphia Eagles in tackles 2 or 3 years ago.
I can't think of his name.
I can't either. They got him. They had to overpay for, what's his name, the wide receiver there that you didn't love.
Calvin Ridley? He looks like garbage.
No, not Calvin Ridley. The other one. God damn it.
I didn't love a lot of them.
You didn't. What the hell was his fucking name? He came from. I'm trying to remember.
Christian Kirk?
Yes, Christian Kirk.
I didn't want him at all.
No, I know you didn't. They had to overpay. It was like 4 years, $84 million they gave him.
Yeah,
And they had to overpay.
Midget.
But they had to overpay because they're Jacksonville.
Yes.
But I liked what they were doing. They're like, okay, well, we're going to give him $484. Is he worth that? Nah, I mean, that's the market value going for receivers right now, and that's what's available. But we need to get some weapons around Trevor Lawrence. We need to get some stuff. You get Travis Etienne. Like, you have good players on that offense. What the fuck is going? Like, I refuse to believe that Trevor Lawrence is this bad.
Me too.
I refuse to believe it.
Like, if he became available, like, somehow, some way, I'd be like, go after him with everything you can.
Absolutely.
Because he is immensely talented. I watched him coming out of college, and he was flawless. And I was like, he is the most, like, can't-miss prospect. And somehow, is playing so bad in the NFL that I was like, I can't even fathom how he's playing this bad.
They've scored 17, 13, and 10 points in their first 3 games.
That's Patriots bad.
Like, you can't have that much talent and put up. I mean, great. I know you lose. You lose to Miami in a close one by 3. You lose to Cleveland. I mean, you lost to Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns. Like, what the fuck is that?
Also, Cleveland Browns offensively, just a lot of bad offense. But did you hear? Now, I don't want to sidetrack too much from the Jaguars, so we can come right back to it. But we talked about it 2 weeks ago. The Browns sneakily put in this waiver that if another incident happens, they're able to get out of all the guaranteed money they owed Deshaun Watson.
I did hear something about that, but I also heard that his agent was like, "Yeah, no, not happening." It might be true. I would be very, very curious to see how they could. I mean,
the Browns are leaking video camera footage of everything he does as soon as he touches the
I mean,
stadium.
at this point, do you just honeypot him?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah.
You're talking $200 million. Like,
the team is having hookers just walk by the parking lot after the game's over, hoping for anything to happen.
Like, please solicit them. He looks like absolute garbage too. But Jacksonville, I mean, Doug Peterson, I liked what Doug Peterson was building down there. I liked where Trevor Lawrence was heading trajectory-wise. I liked the weapons they were putting around him. It wasn't anything like, it was going to be like they were going to be a world beater and score 500 points.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked the way they were headed, and that's why I thought, like, this year is, year 4 for Trevor Lawrence now?
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, this is when he's going to come into his own. Doug Peterson's a good coach. He's been there for a couple years. They've built this team around him. They looked okay last year. They didn't look great, but they looked okay at times. Like, they look, and you kind of saw what you thought was the beginning of, like, the beginning of them starting to take that next step towards being like, all right, we're a good football team.
Right.
And for whatever reason, Doug Peterson is just not, either he's not doing enough or Trevor Lawrence just isn't that good. And I kind of refuse to believe the latter.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence has regressed massively. He doesn't even look like the guy he was a year and a half ago.
I mean, do we blame Press Taylor, the offensive coordinator? Like, he's going to be the first guy to go, right?
Yeah, you guys start getting rid of
clearly
people left and right.
Like, this is going to get ugly in Jacksonville before it gets better.
His rookie season, he was a 72 overall rating. 72. That's pretty decent.
QB rating, not Madden rating.
Yeah, QB rating.
I know.
QB rating.
Just clarifying.
Yeah, just making sure. Good statistic there. 3,600 yards, 12 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, 72 overall. Not bad. Good rookie season.
And and I'll tell you what, he had a couple of throws that rookie season.
Impressive.
I remember when he was playing the Broncos and he threw one right into Justin Simmons' chest. But me and my brother both looked at each other and we were like, bruh, that was like 40 yards on a frozen rope.
He has a rocket arm.
Yeah.
A rocket arm. 2022, the very next year, throws for 500 more yards, throws for 13 more touchdowns, so he had 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, so he also reduced his interceptions by more than half. His rating was 96.
Trending in the right direction.
2023, almost the same amount of yards, 21 touchdowns, a little bit more interceptions than 14, overall rating 88.5.
But that's where you see those 2 seasons, the sophomore and the junior year, and you're thinking like, okay, 4th year in the league, Doug Pete, like, this is where it's going to come. This is where it's going to come together.
Yes. This season, 560 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 3 fumbles, overall rating 68.
It's abysmal.
It's the worst season he's having of his whole career so far.
By far. And quite
Something's
frankly,
not right.
And that's what I'm getting at, dude. Like, there's something's amiss down there. Because he's not this bad.
No, he is not.
And the Jags are not this bad. Like, they're not a great team, but they're not like Cleveland Browns bad. They're not Oakland Raiders bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, they at least have a franchise quarterback on their roster. Like you said, 25 touchdowns and 8 interceptions 2 years ago. Like, that's a good year, dude. That's a good second year. That's not a sophomore slump. That's a good year. 21-14, that leaves a little bit to be desired for sure. But
yes,
you're at least thinking like, all right, we can build on this.
Mm-hmm.
We can take this and say like, all right, we got some things we can tweak. But when you watch what Buffalo did to them last night, and I know this is going to go up your ass sideways. But right now, after 3 weeks, the Buffalo Bills are the best team in the league, and Josh Allen's the MVP.
I can't debate that. That's
I know.
100% correct.
And all those people that thought Stephon Diggs leaving was going to hurt the Buffalo Bills,
I did.
I didn't.
But
And did you hear Josh Allen's comments after the game last night?
No, I didn't hear what he
When
said.
he said, he's like, it's just so, they're like, why are you playing so well? Or like, how the offense is really clicking. He's like, yeah, man, it's just great when everybody's out there having fun playing football, not worrying about catches and touchdowns and who's getting them.
Nice slight.
Like just a little slight. If you go back and listen to it, it's just like it's a subtle little dig at Diggs, and it's just like zing.
But I'm gonna withhold judgment because I also said before the season began, the whole team is on Josh Allen's shoulders. The entire team. Buffalo's defense can't stop anybody either. They struggle very bad on defense.
I mean, they stopped the fucking shit out of the Jaguars last night. I mean, even Damar Hamlin's getting picks for Christ's sakes.
That's a bad sign. Like the Buffalo's defense,
It was the first one of his career.
Yes, and he also killed Tua like the week before. Damar Hamlin's
like the Undertaker coming back up out of the front,
Yes!
like sitting straight up.
Everyone's like, he's number one on the depth chart. That the guy that died, and he really is just coming back and just taking people out.
As soon as he got that interception, like all I could think of was that SpongeBob meme of like somebody just being like, "Did you know this man was dead?"
Yes.
I was like, "Oh God, we're gonna have to hear about this for the next 2 fucking weeks."
No, they don't talk about Damar at all.
They really they kind of like swept that away.
They don't talk about it.
Yeah, like they used to be a big like hot topic, and now everybody like the national media is kind of like, anyway, we don't really want to talk about people getting killed on the field. Bad look for the NFL when you had a guy like Tua seizing up. But no, I think there's just something's wrong in Jacksonville. I think before long. When's their bye week? Let me take a look.
Not soon enough.
No, it's not. Week 12. So their offense, listen, they're at Houston, at home to Indianapolis, at Chicago, and they have the Patriots. All right, these are 4 very winnable, very, I'd say beatable defenses for the Jacksonville Jaguars with the talent they have on offense.
Yes.
If they go anything less than that's 2-2, or maybe even 3-1, because listen, Houston, okay, division game on the road. Houston's pretty good.
Houston's not gonna lose that game.
But now you're 0-4. Your back's to the wall here. You're 0-4.
They're already 0-4.
You got the Indianapolis Colts. You should be able to beat the Indianapolis Colts.
They're not gonna beat the Colts.
At home, they should be able to beat the Colts. The Colts historically have struggled mightily in Jacksonville, no matter who was under center for either team.
Joey, they can't stop anybody on defense from running the ball. Jonathan Taylor's going to eat that team alive. Remember when they drafted Trayvon Walker like 3 years ago, number 1 overall? The dude fucking doesn't even play.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
know.
They can't do anything. They have Josh Allen
but I'm just saying,
on defense. And change his name.
But that's a winnable game for them. It should be.
Okay.
All right, like this should be a winnable game. Indianapolis with and I like AR-15, but he's not there yet.
I don't think he's going to get there, to me personally.
I think he will, because I think he's got it between the ears. I think he's got it.
I think he's got it from the neck down. I think the head up. If you just have him be quarterback, I don't know if he can do it.
I think he can. I'm a big fan. At the Chicago Bears,
who knows?
That team is horrendous. They're awful. Caleb Williams is awful. That is going to go down as a Jamarcus Russell level bust. We said it before the draft last year.
I'm never betting on a Chicago game again.
We said it before he even went to Chicago. Then he went to Chicago, and I was like, oh, yeah, this guy's cooked. Like, you're going to the black hole of the NFC of quarterbacks. You're going to the Cleveland Browns of the NFC for quarterbacks.
They brought him Keenan Allen. They brought him a Dunzy. They brought him all
and then
this
you get
talent.
And then you get the Patriots at home.
All
right?
Patriots are winning that game right now. I'm sorry.
They should beat Indianapolis, Chicago, and New England.
They should, but they won't.
And I think they can beat Houston. So let's say they go 2-2 in that stretch.
Okay.
You're now 2-6.
Yeah, you're dead in the water.
Then you've got the Green Bay Packers, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Detroit Lions.
Oh, you're losing the next 4.
You're
2-10.
You're fucking done. Your season's over at the bye week.
Your season was over before that.
Like, that's it. That's a wrap. So when does the offensive coordinator get fired? Like, if they lose to the Houston Texans,
week 6.
I think if they lose to Houston and they go 0-4, you got to make a change, because you now have 3 winnable games ahead of you in Indianapolis, Chicago, and New England. And if you are going to right the ship, because you ain't righting the ship against Green Bay, Philly, Minnesota, and Detroit.
Who's quarterback for the Patriots in that game?
Ooh, good question.
I'm telling you right now.
I think it's going to be Drake May by that point.
I'm telling you, if we keep playing Jacoby, we're dead in the water. We're gonna be like a 2-14 team because we can't fucking do anything. A 2-15.
But is
team.
that honestly
yes
a bad thing for you guys? Because
kinda.
you preserve Drake May, you preserve his health.
But okay,
You give him a season to learn.
yes,
And then you're drafting super high again next year.
I am not okay with that theory because for every time you put out a rookie that doesn't do well, there's always a C.J. Stroud, there's always a Bo Nix,
Of course.
There's always going to be elements to like factor in. If you want to prevent him from, if you want to give him essentially a red shirt freshman year, hey, that's great. He might play like shit because he'll get killed behind the line, but let him learn the game while playing. Look at Jaden Daniels last night. Fucking killed it. That's not a great offensive team. He just played really well.
Right.
You got to let these guys baptism by fire sometimes. Peyton Manning swears by it. Brady swears by it. Eli swore by it.
I'm swearing by it. We'll get to my Broncos in a second after we finish up this ugly section. We'll talk about my Broncos and the Bucks a little bit because this is a very Broncos friendly show. All right.
It's Broncos, Colts, and Patriots friendly.
We are going to very much talk about the Broncos every week. Might not take up the entire show, but we're going to touch on it. That being said, I'm a big fan of the baptism by fire. I think you have to do it.
You got to stick with it.
I've seen Bo Nix progress each of the games that he's played. He's done something better than he did the week before, and to me that's the way you learn. Now, in your case, if the plan is to go and throw Drake May in a couple of live fire games, you pull Brisket at halftime and you let him get some snaps here and there, because you do want to see him get a feel for the speed of the game. Or when the season's over and you're 2-10, or you're 1-9. All right, now go in and because now there's no expectations. Now there's no. The kid's in. We're going to the playoffs. We're going to go on a run. Like, no. Season's over. It's been over, bro. Like, this is just going to get his feet wet for next year. Kind of a lot like what the Chiefs did it with Mahomes. That worked out pretty fucking good.
Alex Smith was a much fucking better quarterback.
At the time. And the Chiefs were competitive.
Yes, they were.
They were very competitive that year. But if the Patriots aren't going to be competitive this year with Drake May or without him, I say you ride the Jacoby Brisket thing until week 10 at least.
Dude, he is rough to watch because he will not throw the ball to wide open dudes, and I just don't understand why.
Russell Wilson wouldn't either, dude. Trust me, as someone who watched a full season of that last year, I feel your pain.
Like they go back, and
it also gives me great pleasure that you guys are experiencing this because fuck you.
But it's
for the last 20 years.
I don't subscribe to all 22, but a lot of people online throw up the free clips of it, and you'll see we'll have Hooper, we'll have Henry, we'll have Jalen Polk. They'll be open in the end zone, and Jacoby's throwing a 15-yard slant to a double-covered the Mario Douglas, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I just not throwing
He's
it?
got Russell Wilsonitis, bro.
You know what I mean? He's like looking for short game for everything. It's like it's not all about the short game. Throw it deep every once in a while to keep teams honest.
Right. I mean, I get it, but I think you got to ride with him till at least week 10. You know what I mean? You got to get to the midpoint of the season, past the midpoint of the season.
He might not even make it to week 10
because I just don't see any. Again, because this team isn't good enough to, like you said, you're not winning anything with Drake May or Brisket.
No.
You get to week 10, you give May the last 7 games of the season, or 6 games of the season, depending on where the bye week falls. I think that's good enough to like get a real good look for him with no pressure, with no expectations of like, all right, this sucks. Don't win too many games now because we do want to draft, we do want to be in the, if we could beat, because listen, if you can be number 1 and you've got your quarterback, you drop back to 5, you turn that into 2 or 3 more first round picks, or 2 or 3 more picks and another first rounder, whatever, not this year, but maybe next year. Now you can really start building young guys, through the draft around him. Now you can go out and you can get yourself, a wide receiver. Just, I don't know, pick the next guy at fucking Ohio State that's coming out. It'll probably be pretty fucking good. But I'm just saying hypothetically.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying I don't even know who Ohio State.
No, I'm wondering just
is,
not even college right now. I'm wondering an NFL free agency too.
Well, you could do that. You could go that route because when you have the rookie quarterback on the rookie deal, it allows you to spend money in other places.
Yep.
So I think if you're going to go that route, I think it's wise for the Patriots to do that. And I think it's wise for them to keep, it doesn't necessarily hurt to keep a guy on the bench listen, it worked for Mahomes. It worked for Rodgers. You know, it worked for Eli Manning to a degree. You know, he was behind Kurt Warner for a good chunk of his rookie season. Trying to think, Phillip Rivers worked for him. He sat behind Drew Brees his entire rookie season, or first 2 years. So I know. Yeah, his first 2 years, 04 and 05. You know what I mean? He didn't start until 06.
Right.
And then he came in and fucking lit it up. I mean, you just got to kind of, sometimes it works. I get it. I know, but I know as a fan, you want to see what the kid's got.
Yes, exactly.
Because you want to see it with your own eyes and say, like, shit, like, all right, we got our future or we don't. You know, do I have something to be excited for or do I not? I understand that. But from a football, like from a front office standpoint, the last thing you want to do is send the kid out there. He tears a knee up, busts a shoulder up, gets concussed, a la Tua. And now all of a sudden he's fighting against shit that he shouldn't have to be fighting against.
Right.
In order to try to be successful. So I don't know. I think it's a good thing for the Patriots if they can leave him on the bench as long as possible. And if the season goes to shit, so be it. You didn't expect anything this year anyway.
No, we didn't. No,
Gerard Mayo's not getting fired at the end of this year.
No.
He's going to get a second. Unless some wild shit happens and he loses the locker room, but I can't see that happening.
Year one.
He's a player's coach. Right, exactly. Players' coaches don't lose it till year 2. 2.5.
Or 1.5.
Well, I'm saying this is year 2 for the Raiders, so that's why I think that's already starting. That's going to start to slip away.
Oh, he made like a passive-aggressive comment about getting rid of Devontae Adams, and I'm like,
yeah, he made a passive about that, and then you could see the frustration on the sidelines. Like it's boiling over there already, quick. But
what, you mean all the basketball hoops and cigar smoking didn't go over well?
Oh yeah, you know who that didn't work for either? Nathaniel Hackett. The ugly portion, Sean.
To be fair, we knew this. They got Nathaniel Hackett fully expecting Rodgers to go there.
Yes. And when that didn't work,
they were like, fuck.
Fuck, what's plan B? I don't know.
There was no plan B.
Mortgage the farm and get Russ. And Pete Carroll was like, happy to oblige.
Pete Carroll was like, I'm getting fired too.
Yep.
He's like, I'm 74. I don't give a shit.
Don't give a shit. The ugly. Miami, I think we've covered pretty extensively.
I think Miami is just, meh. Like, I don't know. It's poor coaching.
They're cooked. I don't think, listen, I said it last year, Mike McDaniel, kick the fucking field goal, score 73. Because in 2 years, when you're fired and out of a job and Tua's out of the league because he's got too many concussions, nobody's going to remember you were even here. I said that last year after that game, and I was being dead-ass serious. I like Mike McDaniel. Mm-hmm. I think he can go on to be good eventually somewhere. But the situation in Miami was very easy to read. They're not winning a Super Bowl with that setup. It's not happening.
No.
So kick the field goal, okay? Put your name in the record books forever, because that might be the, because you don't know. That might be the last thing we ever get to remember you by.
Oh, you can't remember him by him like punching the podium after Week 1's game and be like, I'll never experience what Tyreek experienced. It's like, what, dude? Like,
just so fucking lame. I get trying to like be one of the, like, he that's another thing. Like, he's trying to be one of the boys.
He is one of the boys.
You're the
coach.
coach.
He tells everybody.
You're the coach. Go coach.
He's like, did you know I was a ball boy in San Francisco and I used to rap on the sidelines? It's like, thanks for telling me that, dude.
Cool, Mac Miller.
He looks like Weezer.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. So Miami, I think we've already pretty much covered them. The other three on the ugly side that I had: Dallas, Baltimore, San Fran.
Dallas gave Dak all his money, and Dak was like, I'm out.
See, I disagree on the one thing I disagree with the Cowboys is that this falls on Dak in any way, shape, or form.
I think some of it falls on Dak. I don't think he's been great.
Listen, the issues that are plaguing the Cowboys have been there for generations. They were there before Dak was even on the field.
Yes, that is true.
Okay? The issues that are plaguing the Cowboys are sitting up in the owner's box like they always have been.
Yeah, what was up with Jamie Foxx and Jerry Jones? You see that?
I don't know. Is he they making an Any Given Sunday sequel or something?
No, like Jerry Jones invited Jamie Foxx like on the sideline to watch a practice. And Jamie Foxx just casually went live, just be like, "Yo, everybody! Like, I'm here with Jerry Jones. I'm watching like a I'm watching the practice, and Jerry Jones just starts rattling off like one of the plays he's watching, and he goes, 6'4", 280, 8.5-inch dick.
Yes, I did.
And Jamie Foxx looked at his camera, ends live.
I was here in the glory hole days. I won't be here for the next glory hole days.
But I love that someone handed him this sheet, and he was like, give me the dimensions. Height, weight, dick. It's like, okay, man.
He's looking for the next Charles Haley, dude. You know,
Oh,
he's like,
my
we were
God.
glory hole days at Charles Haley. We had the Frankencock.
But don't forget, that was an old school metric that was important to old school evaluators because they thought the bigger dick you had, the more confidence you had, and you played better. That was a real thing. They use it in baseball, too, because I remember Billy Beane talked about it in his book when I read the book 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And he was just like, old school scouts, they would also ask, oh, are you dating someone? Can she come to the interview with you? Because they would say, they would rate their girlfriend and be like, if he has a hot girlfriend, they know he's confident. And if the girlfriend was ugly, they'd be like, and they would judge based on very materialistic things like that, and they used it.
I'm not saying I would like pick a guy or not pick a guy based on dick size and the hotness of his girlfriend, but I kind of see the
How mad was Jerry Jones when he didn't draft Frank Gore?
I guess I know, right? Jesus,
Damn it! Punch
son
the
of a
desk.
bitch. I guess I kind of see the point from like a psyche valve portion. But,
Sure, but it doesn't mean anything.
But does it? I don't know. Like, who's the most successful guy in the NFL that had the smallest dick? Like, I mean, I'm sure Tom Brady, like he's 6'4", or 6'5", so I'm sure he's not like
tiny,
but he's also Irish. You know, so
you know what I mean? It's
yeah. I mean, Pat Mahomes is half black, so he's probably okay.
But it was just so funny to see Jamie Foxx being like, "Oh shit!"
Like, oh crap, shit. Jerry Jones is at it again.
But I can't.
But again, the issues that I've been talking, the issues that have been plaguing the Cowboys are in the owner's box, not under center. Because it didn't matter if it was Tony Romo, Drew Bledsoe, Dak Prescott. Like, it doesn't matter who's under center. It doesn't matter who's on the sidelines, who's coaching. It's just the ownership is what is plaguing the Cowboys and has been since 1995. Well, 1996 when they failed to win a Super Bowl and never won one again.
Well, yes. Did you hear after the game, whatever it was, but I can't remember when they played, Sunday afternoon, whatever it was, the player they interviewed after who just said, what do you guys need to do for the next game to, like, figure this out and get through this rough patch? And he made a knock against Mike McCarthy, and he was like, we need to be given, like, more details and be a detail-oriented team. And it was like, is he talking about Belichick? Is he talking about they need a new coach? Is he talking about, because a lot of the players in the locker room aren't really blaming the talent. They're blaming, like, decision-making.
And nor should they. I mean, listen, the Cowboys' offense, again, this is why I say it doesn't fall on black.
Super talented.
On Dak, they're the 6th-ranked offense in the league right now. They scored the 6th most points of anybody in the league. They're putting up numbers. And I'm watching the Cowboys game, the Cowboys-Baltimore game on Sunday, and my brother had come over to drop his dogs off because we're dog sitting for the week. Little Lulu and Yogi. Mm-hmm. And it's hysterical because, I mean, I'll tell you what, dude. If you thought one dog was a lot of work, try having 3.
Yeah, fuck that.
3 dogs is a lot of work. But they're very cute, so they make it worth it. But he comes over, we're watching the Baltimore-Dallas game as it's ending. And Dak throws a laser in the back of the end zone. A beautiful, drops a dime in. I believe it was the CD Lamb for a touchdown.
It was the CD.
The toe tap and everything was right there. And it was a beautiful throw. And I looked at my brother, and because my brother had just made a comment because the Cowboys were losing, and he was like, just made a comment to me about, oh, Dak gets all that money. And then he goes and throws that pass. And I said, dude, I don't care what anybody says. Dak is worth every penny.
I don't know about every penny.
Dak is worth it. He is an elite level quarterback. I mean, look at the numbers over his career. Like, I'm pretty sure he's outpaced Pat Mahomes in touchdown to interception ratio and yardage since they've been in the league together.
He might be up there.
Like, I'm fairly sure, or it's very close. Like, Dak is extremely good at throwing a football. Now, the Cowboys' problems that they have with winning games and getting to the playoffs and winning when it matters, you can't come out and get boat raced against Green Bay like you did last year and expect people not to say shit. Like, but again, I feel like that falls on Mike McCarthy. That falls on the preparedness, the details. and not only that, but the attitude of the team. How many times do we see it? Will you get to the playoffs? 2 or 3 plays will go against you, and they could be boneheaded plays.
Yes, it's all it is.
A couple of a fluke interception, tip ball here, fumble there, and next thing you know, you're in a 17-0 hole, and the game's over, and you can just read it on the sidelines. This game is fucking over. This team wants nothing to do with anything. And the other team just comes out, and then they're picking apart your defense, which has been pretty good all year. Micah Parsons is a no-show. Things just – we've all had games go that way, right? We've all been a part of games.
Yes.
You experienced it in 2009 with the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
I experienced it in 2005 in the AFC Championship against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
Or in 2003 against the Indianapolis Colts. Or in 2004 against the Indianapolis Colts. Or in 2013 against the Seattle Seahawks. You know what I mean? Like, where shit just starts to get away from you real quick, and you look at it and you go, fuck. Like, and it sucks. And you know that you're like, goddamn, we're going to have to dig ourselves out of this fucking hole. Am I out of focus? It could just be this camera doing autofocusy shit.
It's doing that zoom in, zoom out bullshit.
Yeah, I need new cameras. That's wicked high up on my list of shit to replace up here. Sorry about that. It'll fix itself. It usually does anyway. I can see it doing it in my corner of my eye now.
I'm used to it though. It's been happening the last couple of weeks. So
yeah, I just updated all the drivers on these things too. Like, I just don't think they're jiving with my new with my graphics card. I think something's up with my graphics card too, which is really gonna suck if it is, because I don't feel like spending $2,000 on the new one.
Would wait. Well, if you do get a NVIDIA one,
that is NVIDIA.
Get the new NVIDIA one.
That's the one that's gonna cost me $2,500, which I'm like.
Go on Amazon and look for not new in package.
The problem is so NVIDIA, quick side, NVIDIA's discontinuing the 4090s.
They're doing a bunch of shit right now. Why?
As of October, because the 5090s are coming out.
Oh, okay.
So they're discontinuing the 4090s in October, which is going to up the demand because the supply is going to be diminished.
As someone who buys NVIDIA stock every week, please keep buying.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be a NVIDIA guy for a while. Like, if this one dies on me or I decide to replace it, I'm doing a 5090. I mean, will I ever need that? No. Do I even need a 4090? Probably not. Probably could have got away with the 4070 and been like totally fine. But why not future-proof yourself? Anyhow, games get away from you. So I think the problems that are plaguing Dallas are in the ownership booth, are in the owner's box, and the coaching booth and the sidelines. I don't think it's Dak.
Right.
All right, and then Baltimore, I cannot figure out for the life of me what the fuck is going on with the Baltimore Ravens.
All right, I'm going to tell you my opinion that I have. I don't know if anybody else has shares this opinion, and if they do, I didn't mean to steal it. I feel like Lamar Jackson is disconnected from the team. When I watch him play, I feel like he doesn't listen to a single fucking thing the coaches tell him. And he's frustrated with them, and they're frustrated with him, and he makes his own play calls at the line. Because I'm like, there is no way they fucking drew up 3 straight runs with fucking Lamar Jackson. There is no fucking way.
And again, why do the Ravens insist on running that type of offense every year? Like, I know Lamar is what he's capable of, but just because he's capable of it doesn't mean it's going to work.
Yes.
Like, we saw this with Mike Vick. Like, they design these basically quarterback draws. I mean, not basically, that's what they were. You drop back like he's going to throw it and then look for a hole and take off. And everybody knew. And all the receivers were doing was just like, hey, 4 straight go routes, carry your defender down the field, give Mike as much space as he can get. It's not a sustainable way to play offensive football in this league.
No.
And the thing that fucking frustrates me the most with it is Lamar can actually throw the football.
He can launch, absolutely.
He's actually a pretty fucking good thrower of the football.
Sometimes his accuracy is meh, but he can get it down there for sure, absolutely.
But and even when his accuracy is meh, like the things he can do just on the run, throwing on the run, getting outside the pocket, doing different things. We saw it week 1 in Kansas City. He made some pretty good throws. They get down there, they're a toe away from being,
Isaiah
winning that
Likely.
game. So that sucked. And then week 2, who'd they lose to? That was stupid game. They shouldn't have lost.
I don't remember who they lost to anymore. And they barely beat Dallas.
It was the Raiders. That's right. Gardner Minshew and the Raiders.
Jesus Christ.
Like, we just got done talking about what a trash team the Raiders are. And that was it. And then they go in and they beat Dallas, who we also just highlighted all the deficiencies with. I mean, again, I picked Baltimore to be like a 12, 13, 14-win team this year.
Mm-hmm.
They got Buffalo next week at home, Sunday night. I listen, I think the MVP is going in there, and Buffalo's beating them. So you're going to be 1-3. Then you get a run of games at Cincinnati. You get Baltimore, Battle of the Beltway at home. Tampa at Cleveland, Denver, Cincy, Pittsburgh, and the Chargers again. Like, I don't think this is going to be very easy for them. Joey Fats Radio, row 1, seat 1.
Hey, what's up, boys? Sorry it's a little late.
Wow, Pat, how the hell are you?
Hey, Pat.
Not bad, man. Yourself?
Congratulations, Dad.
Yes. How's the baby?
Thank you. Appreciate it. Good, man. He's just farting up a storm like a regular guy who watches the World 1 C1.
So
He's doing
how
well.
months now or no? Still 2 no? Is it still like weeks?
Yeah, he's as 1 month. 24th is 1 month. Yeah.
Wow, congrats.
No way, nice.
Congrats, man.
Thanks, so it's
How's-
amazing. I'm very
How's,
happy.
how's the sleeping going for you?
Oh god, I'm kind of a night owl, so but it'll be like sleep 1 to 4, 5 to 7, like 7 to 10. It's just
Dude,
it's crazy.
don't
if I get
fucking-
4 hours
don't-
of sleep, I feel like $1 million.
Don't bitch. I'm not even getting that big of blocks right now. I have a 6-month-old, and she's going like an hour and 12 minutes, and she's waking up. She's like, ah! And it's like a fucking ghost pops in her room, and she's like reincarnating like a demon.
Oh
So
my god. Yeah.
get as much
It's,
sleep as you can right now.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's awesome. I dealt my first blowout. That was a little rough, but yeah, no, it's great.
Oh no, dude, blowouts are like nothing. I mean, I go through those like blindfolded at this point. My hands are full of shit. The baby's pissed in my face. I've had one kid throw up in my face. I've had another kid piss in my face. Dude, it's whatever. Anything that could happen has happened.
Oh my god.
And it does, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Joey, I have some crazy questions to throw you boys.
All right.
Please do.
All right, Joey, if you were Broncos GM, are you trading Bo Nix and a 2nd-round pick for Trevor Lawrence?
No.
No, you don't. No, that's too big of a gamble. You can't
Yeah,
do
no.
that.
I like, as much as I like Trevor Lawrence, no, I'd rather take the kid that's not potentially, because I don't know if Trevor Lawrence is damaged goods.
Trevor Lawrence is not worth a 2nd-round pick right now, unfortunately.
I mean, I think talent-wise he is.
Talent-wise, yes.
But-
Is a team going to give up because you have to consider how much money they gave him?
Well, that's the thing.
He's a 5th-round pick right now
But I
because
think
of that contract.
if Pat was just saying like from a money not an issue standpoint, I still think no. If I'm Denver, no, I can't do that trade because I can't afford to pay the quarterback.
No.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we have a ton of cap space, and we're gonna have a ton more next year when this Russell deal is Wilson deal is off the books.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna have, I think, like 140 or 150 million in cap space.
It's
to play
Broncos.
with.
It's Broncos Patriots, top 2 teams with free agency.
Yeah, and the reason for that being is because we have Bo Nix on the rookie deal.
Same.
So
Yeah.
the rebuild, but yes, I mean talent wise, would I take Trevor Lawrence over Bo Nix? Probably, yeah. Like if they were both coming out at the same time, yeah, I'm a huge Trevor Lawrence fan.
Dude, the Taylor brothers just hit me in my head. The Taylor brothers are 0-6. Bengals and the his OC is Ben Taylor, Press Taylor, that other fucking
Yeah, from Jacksonville.
Jaguars OC.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We were just talking about him getting fired. Like when does he get fired?
I-
Like
Yeah, I know
we
you
said
did. I
like
know
week
that.
6.
Yeah, he's gonna be soon. I thought Doug Peterson was supposed to be like a B+ head coach.
well,
He's supposed to be a quarterback whisperer.
and that's
is his mantra.
and that's why we spent as much time on Jacksonville as we did earlier because we can't figure out. Like I refuse to believe that Trevor Lawrence is this bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no way he
no.
can stay this bad either.
That's like the way they got dog walked last night is just that was embarrassing.
Yeah. Do you think anyone throws out a 7th-round pick for Bryce Young who can't best to jump to throw over the line?
No,
No, and I don't think Carolina's going to get rid of him either because they gave up too much to get him.
correct.
So they might just let him sit and stew on the bench for a little bit and I don't know, maybe hope for the best because I don't know what else you can do at this point.
Yeah, I won't even bring up gambling, but what an insane season. What do you make of the season? I think it's been just bad. Bengals 0-3. The Chiefs should be 1-2. And the Ravens haven't been good, or the Cowboys. Did you guys see this coming?
No,
No.
We actually just talked about all of that. Like right as you called in, we just finished with Ravens Cowboys, like
Yeah.
as the wrap up of everything. Like, no, we didn't predict this coming. I had Joe Burrow as the MVP, and I had the Bengals as the AFC representative in the Super Bowl. And right now,
too.
that team
Me
couldn't.
too.
That team can't put one foot in front of another.
No.
No, they're bad, and it's really bad if you're a Bengals fan and Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase go off, and you still lose.
Right.
Oh my god.
Because that's just that. Now you're like, we got deeper rooted issues here.
Yeah, you got a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And I mean, I picked Trevor Lawrence to be my MVP this year. I thought this was the year he made the leap, and
Oh.
not only is it not looking like that. I mean, obviously that's not going to be the case now. I don't even know. Like, I have no idea how he is going to look come the end of the year, and if they are going to be looking to move on from him at the end of this season.
Yeah. What do you guys make of Aaron Rodgers? What do you think?
I think the Jets are going to be the Jets. A-Rod's worth 9 games by himself.
Oh no.
You know, but the Jets are going to jet, dude, and there's going to be some points of this season where, you know, like you're already kind of seeing it with Robert Saleh and A-Rod like on the sidelines. Like, I don't know. There's something weird about that team. The way A-Rod's treated over there, the way the team just like they have that all we got to do is show up because we got Aaron Rodgers and we're going to win games attitude.
It's weird.
I don't like it. I don't trust the Jets. I mean, I'm hoping the Broncos can keep, you know, do what they did to A-Rod years ago and just put him in a box and go out and win this game so we can get to 500. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not overly optimistic about that. But
I don't know.
I think it's gonna be a lot closer than people think. I'll put it that way.
I think he's waiting for his guaranteed money. Once he gets the rest of his guaranteed money, I think he's retiring. I don't think he gives a shit anymore.
Rodgers?
Yeah, I don't think he gives really a shit anymore.
No, I do think he wants to win one more as kind of like a fuck you to Green Bay.
Yeah.
Him winning one in New York would be the ultimate fuck you to Green Bay. But
Yeah, I guess so.
but also Green Bay's gonna be like, yeah, we don't really care, dude. We're not really in the business of winning Super Bowls.
No, they're not. They're like, as long as we're competitive.
Yep, we're just in the business of being relevant.
Oh my god. If you were Bill Belichick, would you be looking at high-end realtors in Dallas? It's going to be any time now that fat guy's out of there.
No, I still think it's Philadelphia.
Stay tuned, Pat, after this because we're gonna do the Belichick short list
I'll listen. I'll be here.
to close out the show. That was one of the last things I wanted to talk
can we
about.
play that Belichick video first?
Yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll do the Belichick where we think Bill's going to end up, because I think that list is starting to grow.
Oh, big time.
Are you guys? It's not just the dresses and the freaking makeup and his crying to his mom, but I think he's a huge douchebag, Caleb Williams.
He is.
You guys think he's a bust?
Pat, I'm so glad you
he's an
brought this
asset.
up because the thing that
guy in Boston media would destroy him, and New York media, if he went there, would destroy him.
don't get it twisted. The Chicago media is going to turn on him very quickly too. That's another major media market that gets slept on. It's not Boston.
Okay.
It's not vicious as Boston and New York. But they are going to lose their patience with him very quickly because, again, he's supposed to be the answer. You know, like the Bears have been starved for a quarterback. I mean, when Jay Cutler is your all-time leading,
oh my god,
passer, or at least in the modern era, that's the last good quarterback they had. And I'm so glad you brought this up because I was going to ask Sean about this, but I didn't want to go back to kind of off topic, games. But did you see the post game conversation between C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams?
Yes.
When C.J. Williams was trying to offer him like some advice and say like, "Hey man, like, slide, keep yourself out." And he's like, "Yeah, I know." And he just like tries to like pull away and
roll his eyes.
And yeah, C.J. Stroud like grabbed him and was like, "Listen, man, keep doing it." Like trying to offer him words of encouragement and advice. And he tried to like blow him off. Now I know C.J. Stroud isn't some like 10-year vet who's won a couple Super Bowls and like trying to bestow, you know what I mean? But
he was being a nice guy.
He's being a nice guy, and he's like, as a guy who went through last year what you're going through, I can still very easily relate to it because it's still very fresh in my mind. And for Caleb Williams to blow C.J. Stroud off like that, again, that says everything to me about Caleb Williams I need to know. The kid is going to be a Jamarcus Russell level bust.
Oh my god, that's crazy. All right, I will hang up. It's late. I'm gonna listen to the Bill Belichick talk and be a fun season, boys.
It sure will, Pat. Thanks for the call, bud. We appreciate it.
Hey, boys.
Pat, hey, good luck.
luck.
Best wishes to you, the wife, and the newborn.
Thank you. I appreciate it, boys.
All right,
Anytime,
buddy. So I'm glad he brought up that CJ's the Caleb Williams thing, because I didn't really want to go back and just seem like I was piling on Caleb Williams, but that thought popped into my head as we were talking about the Dallas Cowboys for some reason. And just what a jackass. You can just tell he has that arrogant air of just like, yeah. Like, and he is a, listen, I've always lived by the mantra, like, show me a good loser, I'll show you a loser. Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't care about losing with grace or anything. I think it's more important to win with grace than it is to lose. Mm-hmm. That being said, the NFL, it's a fraternity at quarterback. There's 32 of you in the world, that start on Sundays. There's 32 of you going out and doing your job on Sundays. You don't blow other quarterbacks off. Like, you want to blow off a fucking DB that picked you off, or defensive end that sacked you or something like that. Hey, whatever, dude. You want to run your mouth to them, that's all fine and well. Was it Trent Williams and Richard Sherman, back in the day? And, like, that's all fine and well. I don't mind that. But for him to say that and, like, kind of cop that attitude with CJ Stroud, and again, it just shows you
His mentality.
If that was like an isolated incident, I'd say, like, give him a pass. He's frustrated. It's, they're 1-2, and
He did it again on Sunday.
they're struggling.
You saw what he did on Sunday, right?
No.
So on Sunday, they go for that third. They have a 3rd and 1. They need to get it to be in contention. But besides, he doesn't have a good game on Sunday anyway. He didn't play well against the Colts.
No, I think he put up like 300 yards through the air, but it was like garbage stuff.
Right, and they had that 3 and 1. They didn't convert the 3 and 1. The camera's following him back to the sideline. He's the main quarterback. You know how cameramen work. They always follow the quarterback because that's the star guy of the offense. They follow back on the sideline. He points at Shane Waldron, who's the offensive coordinator for the Bears, and you can see him cuss him out, and he throws his helmet. It's like, dude, it's the 3rd week of the NFL season. Mm-hmm. You're a rookie quarterback. You're not playing great. You've had turnovers, and you're going to cuss out your offensive coordinator on a 3rd and 1 on national TV. It's like that. That's a diva mentality.
100%.
I don't like, and he's getting his jersey retired at USC, and he was an okay college quarterback. He wasn't great. You know
right.
what I mean?
Not jersey retired good.
Yeah, he
didn't even sniff a national championship.
Right, he wasn't like the Matt Leinart level of great. And I don't think Matt Leinart's jersey was even retired there.
You would have to look, but yeah, it would be hard pressed to imagine it was. But then again, I don't know.
Or Carson Palmer. Well, Carson Palmer is retired. They did retire years ago. I'm sorry, I take that back. Carson Palmer is retired.
But yeah,
he deserved it.
He deserved it. Matt Leinart deserves it. I mean, shit. Even Mark Sanchez, like, I don't think Mark Sanchez deserves it. He didn't get to a national championship. Like, he was good, but like, I don't know. He was probably. He wasn't in the Heisman running. I know Caleb Williams was a Heisman winner, but. I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm all set. I just think I think he's an overrated, pompous crybaby, weirdo, just stoolie, like just punk ass stoolie.
If you're gonna paint your nails and act fabulous and be like flirtatious and whatever else you're gonna do and dance with like a sparkled like phone and stuff like that, you better fucking back it up and play.
Yeah.
I forgot what former NFL player before the season began said, all this shit's fine. You're going to fucking lose the locker room with a bunch of grown alpha men as saying, this guy's our leader, and he's acting like that, and he's playing like this, like he's out of here.
Yeah, you're going to be with Juju making TikTok somewhere else.
I love it when and I'm sorry I keep referencing Brady, Belichick, and Manning recently, but we're getting Belichick and Brady talking to the public for the first time ever, all the time, weekly basis. And Brady this past week, again, talked about how he knew guys on his team that were not studying the playbook and would like mess up on the field. And he said, if you put this guy back out here, and he goes, I've talked with Peyton about this, and Peyton agreed with me. We did the same thing. He goes, I would tell Coach, you put him out here, we're playing one man down because I'm not looking at him at all. And he was specifically talking about N'Keal Harry on the Patriots in most recent memory.
Yep.
But he essentially was saying, if the guys on the field are not paying attention, I'm not going to throw to them. You can just make believe they're not here because they're not getting the ball. Even if the play's
Chad
designed for
Johnson.
them. Chad Johnson.
Ochocinco.
Oh, from way back when?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was another one.
He just couldn't get it.
Right, you just didn't get it. And I don't know if it was the lack of trying, but it was just also, at some point, execution.
He just made tons of mistakes.
There's the Pat McAfee telling the story about Peyton Manning, like telling, was it Anthony Gonzalez?
Yes.
He tried to one-hand a ball, and he was like, get off the field.
And you're done for the day.
And he jogged off the field, and the coach was like, what are you doing? Get in there. And Peyton was just standing there like this, like pointing to get off the field.
And as he started to walk back on, he's just like,
and the coach was like, all right, come over here. Never
Yeah.
mind. Like, yeah, we'll figure this out tomorrow. Like, whatever. But let's play this Bill Belichick thing.
I thought he liked Gonzalez too, and it turns out Brady and Manning did not like Gonzalez because Gonzalez played with the Patriots, and they cut him after like 5 weeks. And I'm like, why? We need a short white wide receiver guy like that. And something about him, he just irked guys the wrong way. I don't know what it was.
Some guys just listen. Just because they're on your team doesn't mean you got to get along.
Imagine being hated by two of like the biggest legends of all time. Like, we don't like you.
Yeah, and you didn't win a Super Bowl with either one of them.
Nope.
Because you weren't there. All right, let's listen to Bill Belichick here real quick, and then we'll do the Belichick short list, and we'll get out of here.
Chad?
Yes, sir.
Oh, crap. Hold on.
Matt, we're going to go right to this commercial break. Ah, fuck.
Yeah, hold up. I got to...
I'm going to tease it up or no?
Hold on. I forget how... Hold on. Let me see if I can...
Chad?
Yes, sir.
Most important person on offense for you as a defensive player is who?
The play caller.
The play caller. The play call. And there it is right there. There are the plays.
There we go.
And
Okay. All right, so we'll start over. Now we'll get it. Okay, now we get it.
Chad?
Yes, sir.
Most important person on offense for you as a defensive player is who?
The play caller.
The play caller.
Yes,
The
sir.
play call. And there it is right there. There are the plays. And who is this, Chad?
That is Mr. Kubiak, sir.
Which one?
The daddy. That's Gary.
That is Gary. Played for Coach Shanahan. All right? And so there he is working with Coach Shanahan as a coach in Denver after his playing days. And so if we go back and look at this offense, all right, this is Elway, this is Terrell Davis, and this is their famous play, the stretch play. Here the ball's tossed, but the idea is to get the ball to the outside of the defense, to get the defense to run, and if they don't get there, then take it, and if they over-pursue, then to cut it back. But this play was really, and this blocking scheme was really made famous by Mike Shanahan, his offensive line coach, Alex Gibbs. The other plays that go with this are the boot, whether it's the naked boot where Elway in this case comes out on his own, or where he pulls up in the pocket to run a two-man route to get the ball down the field. These plays come off of the stretch action, and that's really the foundation of the offense. The stretch play, which can hit anywhere, and then the boot or the half-roll boot, and there he is right there. So Gary Kubiak was the backup quarterback to John Elway for the Denver Broncos, and here's a shot of him right here warming up as the backup quarterback. Chad, what do you think about that jacket?
The jacket is nice, Coach. That's probably retro, which you can find on StockX.
Okay, so that's Gary Kubiak as a player, and now Gary Kubiak as an assistant coach of the Broncos. And who is this, Chad?
I think that might be Clint Kubiak. If I'm not
That is
mistaken.
Clint Kubiak, right? And what do you think his offense is going to look like?
Like Gary Kubiak.
Like
Coach.
Gary Kubiak. There you go. All right, so we got the big four here. All right, and we know we've already identified this. This is Coach Shanahan, right? Mike Shanahan. That's Gary Kubiak. All right, Chris?
That's John Elway.
That's John Elway. And Chad, for extra credit,
Yeah.
who is this right there?
That's Kyle Rudolph Shanahan, Coach.
That is Kyle Shanahan.
I like his haircut
So
better.
we have Kyle Shanahan and Mike Shanahan. We have Gary Kubiak and Clint Kubiak, who we saw in the dressing room, connects from Denver to Denver as the head coach. All right, to Kyle to Clint. Offensive philosophy, offensive system. There it is. There's the big four. So Kyle Shanahan brings us to the 49ers offense. All right, and Chris, what do you think they're going to run? What running play are they going to run?
Oh, they're going to run stretch.
They're going to run the stretch.
You can
And
hit anywhere, Coach.
who's at the point of attack?
Everybody. all
Everybody.
back.
Everybody's at the point of attack. Everybody's got to hold their gap, set the edge, play the cutback. All right, so here's the stretch. That ball can hit anywhere across the field. All right, so it's team defense is the only way to stop the stretch play. We got to set the edge. Here's McCaffrey. Stretch, 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 and cut. right? And you get a good back into the secondary, Terrell Davis, all right, Christian McCaffrey, guys like that. All right, it's all over. And with the stretch, Ryan, comes what?
The boot, coach.
The boot. And Chris, how tough is that on the defensive end?
It's really hard because you're used to playing the stretch all day, and you want to win a rush. This ain't the time.
That's right.
Close
And
the
so
distance.
you can see against Jacksonville, you got everybody running and chasing the stretch. All right. And here comes Purdy out there on the boot. And who's got him?
Nobody right now.
Nobody.
Coach.
Nobody. Looks like he got out to practice early. Where's the rest of the defense?
Covering 2 guys.
Yep. Let's find the receivers.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is the kind of stuff that I'm like ecstatic for Bill to not be on the sidelines for.
Do you know what I mean? Like watching
Because-
that, like this is what we hoped he would do, and he's doing it. And like his whole topic was, let's talk about the 49ers offense. But before we do that, here's a history lesson on where all these guys came from.
Which I also love because it's all Denver Broncos greats.
Well, yes, but he
And-
was trying to show like lineage and like, look,
Well-
the son played for him, and he played under him, and they did this.
Did you find it at all interesting?
Shit, I
because
missed.
I always wanted, I always think about like if I ever met Bill Belichick, like going over to the island or like saw him and like ran into him, like
He bought 5 houses apparently.
nice, good for
He
him.
bought like a whole street, so it keeps it all to himself.
It's awesome.
That's a smart idea.
It is. Like what would I ever like? What would I want to ask him? Like what would I want to pick his brain about? And I always wanted to ask him like as a defensive guy, like Mike Shanahan, his offense gave you fits. Like Shanahan had a very good record against Bill Belichick as a coach, and you know his offensive scheme played really well against Bill's defenses. Like we were able a lot of the times, like if you remember, especially with Jake Plummer, we beat you guys in 01, right? That was, I think that was Mike Anderson and Olandis Gary. We lost to you guys in 03 on the intentional safety game when Clinton Portis had like a $120 on the ground. We were moving the ball. That was when Danny Cannell was in at quarterback because we lost Jake Plummer and Bubby Brister. All right. Then 05, we didn't play in 04. 05, we get you guys again. We beat you in the regular season. We beat you in the playoffs. 06, we beat you in the regular season again for a third straight time. All of basically the same faces in those 3 games. And I always wondered why, so I wondered why when I saw this clip, like why he chose this. And it's like, I wonder if it's because this defense, or this offense gave him fits.
Probably.
And I mean, I know it statistically, it worked against him. I think the only time we lost to you guys during the Shanahan era was 2003.
Maybe yes. Yeah, because Shanahan was already gone with the whole. Well, Ben, we lost.
Because we were undefeated. We were undefeated against you guys with Elway. Elway never lost to the Patriots.
Right.
Then we got we beat you in 01. I don't think we played you in 99 or 2000. If we did, we might have lost one in there.
I don't know.
But I don't think so. I'd have to go back and look. But I know we beat you in 01. We didn't play you in 02. We lost you guys in 03, like I said, the intentional safety. And then 05 to 06, we beat you 3 straight.
Right.
Because who was the first team to ever beat Bill Belichick and Tom Brady twice in the same season?
Yes.
The Denver Broncos.
Yep.
Who was the first team to ever beat them 3 straight times? The Denver Broncos. Mike Shanahan. So I
It
love
was
this.
always that offensive scheme too. He just talked about the stretch play and
The stretch
guys overcommitting.
and you said you get a good running back, Terrell Davis, Chris McCaffrey. Probably could have thrown in, Mike Anderson, Tatum Bell.
Well, that's why Clinton Portis. You throw all those guys in there. As long as you're decent, they had a field day.
And those guys were good. I mean, Clinton Portis was elite.
I don't think Olandis Gary was a big
Olandis
deal.
Gary.
He was like run of the mill dude.
It was like him, like Howard Griffin, the kid from OU that came in 04.
Wasn't it Noah Griffin?
No, Howard. No, wait,
Howard?
am I getting him confused with the fullback? Howard Griffith was our fullback for in 97, 98.
There was a Griffin.
And then there was I think it was Howard Griffin, kid from Oklahoma.
It was definitely a Griffin. I thought his name was.
Remember, he
Noah.
came in relief of Clinton Portis got hurt in 2003, and he came in and just ran all over the Colts.
Yes. I remember because everybody in fantasy was like, Quentin
Griffin. Not
Everyone-
Howard Griffith was the fullback. Quentin Griffin was the running back.
Everyone picked him up. Everyone was like, God fucking damn it, got to pick up this guy
Yep.
now.
And then Portis came back and he kind of faded. And then he was supposed to start the 04 season and he couldn't get going. And then they ended up going to Reuben Drones.
Yes, Reuben Drones.
And then Reuben Drones ended up being the guy for that year. And then we went back to Mike Anderson and then Tatum Bell in 05.
So you're going to find this very interesting. As I looked up Quentin Griffin, he is still playing football professionally today.
Where?
Germany.
No shit.
The Kiel Baltic Hurricanes. He's the starting running back, and he is 44 years old.
That's fucking awesome. So let's talk Sean real quick because
Holy shit.
I'm gonna give us about 9 minutes to do this.
Okay.
Tops. That'll put us at 2.5 hours on this show, which good show.
We
by
just
the way.
fly.
It goes by so fucking quick. Short list. The short list for Belichick possibilities is growing.
I
mean,
think my top two right now.
Philadelphia is still going to be a number one.
That's
right?
one for me. Number two is Giants.
I see. I don't put the Giants there because I don't think he wants to go unless he sees something in Danny Dimes that nobody else does and he can fix him. I don't think he's going to go there because listen,
Devin McCourty just said it during the Patriots broadcast during this last game too against the Jets. Someone asked him something about Belichick, and he goes, "Oh, you might see Belichick in New York again soon." And now you have Edelman and McCourty, two of his closest people that he has as players, have both hinted at Belichick wanting to go back to New York and basically taking over for the team that he never got to coach under Parcells. So it might have been like a full circle thing for Belichick.
I mean, I can see. I get the logic and the lineage.
That's all him.
But I don't know that Bill's going to do that.
How much respect does he have for the fucking Giants, though?
That's his. I mean, I know those are his people, but
he fucking hates the Jets, even though they share the same building. He's like, it's fucking.
I know he does.
Of all time.
But you got to think like right now. You're all right.
No,
so the Giants.
No way, Destry.
You're looking at the Giants
as my number two.
As your number two, Philadelphia
number one.
Because again, even though they're 2-1, everybody knows Nick Sirianni's on a
psychopath.
Hot seat. And he's probably not.
Who was he fighting with this past Sunday? He was fighting with some players in the face, and that big fall. That
would you be
Italian
surprised
guy.
if Sirianni doesn't make it to the end of the season?
I would not be surprised at all.
Like if they just get to a point where he loses the locker room and they just got to let him go.
I think he might actually
have done that already.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, if Cincinnati can't get this ship righted, is Zach Taylor out?
I can't picture Belichick going to Cincinnati though. It just seems like too out of the.
I know, but like Cleveland, Cincy.
I think Belichick's going to be on like.
But when you look at it,
makes sense for him.
Franchise quarterback, you got talent. You know what I mean?
Maybe not after the season. A lot of those guys are free agents.
Yeah, but Jamar and Burrow are locked up.
Jamar is not locked up.
Jamar will be locked up before the.
Unless he does the same thing T. Higgins did and he holds out.
He could.
Raiders is going to open.
The Raiders is going to be open, but I don't think Bill's going to work for Al Davis. I mean,
but it would
for
be
Davis.
I don't think so either. That's the same thing with Dallas. I think he would like Dallas, but I don't think he's going to work for Jerry Jones.
I don't either. I think Bill Parcells would probably sold him on not going to that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking around. I mean, listen, Chicago's going to be available, but do you really want to deal with that mess?
Chicago won't be available, not yet.
Destry, I saw you said New Orleans, but no
way.
I don't think so.
They're playing. They're doing better than they should right now, and they like that guy. So
Arizona,
far.
no
chance.
What about Miami?
No chance.
You don't think he would stay in the division
chance.
just to?
Nope.
No. So I think you're right. I think the Giants, the Eagles, and I think he would take a long look at the Cincinnati Bengals.
If Cleveland,
if that roster is intact.
If Cleveland didn't fuck him like they did,
no way you're going to Cleveland. No, you're not dealing with Deshaun Watson and that contract.
I'm just saying, as a possibility.
There's no way Buffalo's moving on from what's his face.
He's not going to Carolina either.
Sean McDermott. There's no way. The Buffalo Bills are going to be way too good this year. Allen's going to be an MVP. The Buffalo Bills are going to be...
No, they love Sean McDermott.
And they love McDermott up there.
The ownership loves McDermott. The fans think he's an alcoholic.
He can be both.
He is named Sean, spelled the Irish way, so...
I can't see, Arizona
being
a spot for him. I think it'd have to be East Coast. I mean, what about Tennessee or Jacksonville?
There's no meat in the bone from there.
Jacksonville, if they got Trevor Lawrence locked up, I mean, I guess it depends on what you see. You know, in those guys that are already there, and how do you really feel about them? Because I don't think McDermott is the reason why they lose.
I don't think so either.
I don't think McDermott's the reason. Like, all right, if you want to go back 2 years ago, whatever, or 3 years ago to the divisional game against Kansas City,
he was the reason why they lost.
and you want to put that loss on him, all right. But like last year was not the reason why they lost.
Definitely not this year. The GM just basically said we're not paying anybody.
Yeah, and this year I don't think so. I think it's more of a talent issue in Buffalo than it is a coaching issue.
It's a talent issue right
because
now.
Because the bottom line is that the Bills keep getting to the divisional round and knocking on the door, despite not having what I think most would agree is like top end talent across the board. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't look at them like San Fran when they went and got Chase Young.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like they're all in. You know, they're going to get everybody. They want all the players. Bring me everyone. The Rams, you know, they go out and they get guys, and they're like, fuck it. Like, fuck them picks. Buffalo doesn't do that. So when you run into I don't know, I think Buffalo just keeps kind of running into a buzzsaw. I see your point.
Yeah, he makes a fine point. I also think Belichick has too much respect for Marv Levy because Belichick's going to go somewhere, and he's going to set the coaching record. He knows he is.
Yeah, that's true, too.
And I don't think he wants to kind of shit on the Marv Levy legacy.
I don't know, but that'd be like, I don't know. Did Peyton Manning didn't mind going to Denver and setting all the records there, even though
But he talked to Elway before he went there. Too.
Well, Elway's the one that brought him there.
Like, that's what I mean.
I mean, so you know what I mean.
There's a discussion there that happens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that same discussion could happen with
Marv Levy is like 94.
Isn't he dead?
I'm pretty sure he's alive, but he's like the crypt keeper at this point.
He is not young.
He is not young at all. I'm going to give you a crazy conspiracy theorist theory that I don't think is likely to happen. It's a 1% chance. But my third team is a team we haven't mentioned, and it's only because it's perfect scenario, everything goes right, is the Kansas City Chiefs. Because Andy Reid has hinted about retiring for a couple of years. Hypothetically, listen to me, Chiefs don't win this year. Andy Reid says, you know what? We fucking 3 Super Bowls. I'm hanging up my hat.
Bro, if the fucking Chiefs go from Andy Reid to Bill Belichick, I'm going to fucking throw no more show. I'm done. Fuck the NFL.
Belichick gets
kiss my ass.
Belichick gets Mahomes and Brady. He definitely gets in the Super Bowl, I think, at that point with that setup.
And he goes and wins like 3 Super Bowls with Mahomes, and he's like, see, bitch?
I don't need you, bitch.
And they're like, oh, he never did it without an elite quarterback. It's like, it'd be like, he would end up in the same, people would talk about him like they do about Phil Jackson.
And yeah.
Oh, he never did it without Michael or Kobe. It's like,
okay.
Yeah, but he developed both Michael and Kobe.
Yes. Yes.
Whoa.
Oh, Kobe wouldn't have won if it wasn't for Shaq. Who the fuck brought this man in? Like, what do you think? Like, he built the team.
Well, Shaq was there before Kobe.
No, I know, but like, who brought Shaq in?
Correct,
and,
right.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
The Lakers were like, we need a big man to replace Kareem. You're pretty cool. You like a diesel?
He's
like, sweet.
He's like, Orlando, pretty dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I don't know. I can't. I like that idea from like if I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and I'm thinking like, all right, what are we gonna do? Because you do have to start thinking if you're a Chiefs fan, like, what do we do post Reid? And is Mahomes gonna be able to maintain this level?
It's what's his name? They already said like the succession plan is the defensive coordinator guy. They used to be a coach.
Spagnuolo.
Thank you.
I like Spags, but why wouldn't their fucking offensive coordinator that keeps?
He left.
Oh, where is he now?
Isn't he Washington?
Is he?
No, not Washington. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he did leave.
He did leave. He's gone.
But it was a lateral move, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like to be another OC somewhere else.
Yeah.
Stupid.
He didn't get, well, why wouldn't he just be the guy? But yeah, I guess, cause weren't they getting like sick of him or something too over there? There was some beef with Kansas City and him.
He claimed it was like all him, and the team was just like, dude, like it has nothing to do with him. Like he tells us, he's like, you should do this play, and Mahomes like, yeah, fuck that. We're not doing that play.
What the fuck was his name? God damn it!
I can't think of it at all.
He came up as a head coaching candidate every year,
and everyone was like, and remember they dropped hints. They thought he was like retarded, like he couldn't figure things out. Hold on.
No, it's
Eric
not.
Bieniemy.
Eric Bieniemy. It's not Washington now. I was just saying it's
Oh my
Cliff
God,
Kingsbury.
he's in college.
Yeah.
He's an offensive coordinator for the UCLA Bruins.
Yeah, I knew he left. I knew he was gone. Bieniemy. He was like
He was fired from the Commanders this offseason.
right
went to
because
the
they went to
Commanders.
they had Cliff because they hired Cliff.
How bad do you have to be after 1 year? They're like, we've had enough. Like, this is not
Listen,
good.
man. Everybody used to get all all the Stephen A. Smiths and the J.A. Adondes of the world would get all on their high horse. The Jameel Hills about fucking why isn't Eric Bieniemy a head coach yet? This is bullshit. This is racism. It's like, nah, dude. This dude's a fucking blow up, bro. Like, you just don't know it yet, but he's not everything you think he is. It's like, Jesus Christ. That offense is Andy Reid. That's it. That's like, every time somebody would hire one of the Patriots defensive coordinators and as a head coach, and they're like, damn it, why do you suck? Why aren't you like Bill Belichick? You ran his defense. And he's like, yeah, I mean, I just kind of like told the guys where to go, when to be there, like micromanage stuff. Bill was the one that came up with all the shit, like, let's be real here. But I don't know. I think Spags takes over for the Chiefs. I think that makes the most sense for them to keep the
By the way,
the train
Kyle
going.
Shanahan has offered apparently multiple times for Belichick to be the defensive coordinator in San Francisco right now. He's like, and we talked about this before the season began. He goes, Kyle Shanahan said at the podium, I still can't believe he is not coaching today for some team.
Dude,
He
I
goes,
would love to see him coaching up like Hufanga and Fred Warner.
Belichick's like, we're just not going to let these
Bozo.
guys get any yards, okay?
Yeah, they're just like, come on. Like, imagine those guys with like that level. Oh, god damn, dude.
And he has a Bosa?
That's what I'm saying. The good Bosa. Not the one that's always hurt.
But I like how Belichick was like, respectfully, I appreciate it. I'm not going to be a DC. Like, thank you. Like,
Yeah, he's like, nah, I'm above that, bro. Sorry.
But Kyle Shanahan's like, you sure? Like, it's week 3. You can still come in.
His dad was probably like, shoot your shot, bro. Shoot your shot. Can't hurt.
And, Kubiak's kid would be like, hey, I know you're offensive coordinator right now. Try to get somehow onto that as well.
Yeah, right? I would love to see like Clint Kubiak working under Kyle Shanahan as an OC. Like, I don't know. I just love to see all those names in one place.
Of course. Thab, I think it was more, we talked about it. Remember we had like the race war of like the coaches?
Mm-hmm.
I said, imagine if you have, because you don't want to have these guys coaching each other. You had Kyle Shanahan as the head coach. Offensive coordinator was Andy Reid. Defensive coordinator was Bill Belichick. I was like, think of that powerhouse of offensive coaching. Because you want a young guy because you don't want, like, he's young enough where the old guys know their place and they don't want to get anything but, like, so we set it up correctly.
Just the wealth of knowledge in that building.
Right.
The shit that they'd be coming up with. It'd be wild, but I know.
Man, that was a fun show.
Coaches
and that was
coach,
like a
winners
month
win,
ago.
players win, but
The race war. Hey, we have 2 white corners now in 1 year.
hey, I'll tell
We
you what,
gained him.
dude, Riley Moss.
He's not bad.
He's playing pretty fucking well. He was a fingernail away from getting us the ball back opening day against Seattle. That was a great throw and a great catch. And I mean, like I say, a fingernail. I mean, a fingernail. And I think he gave up the touchdown to Chris Godwin. But other than that, bro, like him and PS2 put Godwin and Mike Evans in a box.
Yeah, it was a
Listen,
great game.
Denver's defense is bordering on elite. I'm telling you right now. If you haven't watched them yet this year, they are teetering on that elite level of defenses. And as this Broncos offense continues to improve, which I have seen it improve each week a little bit, Bo Nix is going to get better. Sean Payton's going to get better. They still got to figure out a way to run the fucking ball, though. I scoffed at everybody when they said that the Broncos had the worst running back room, in Pro Football Focus or whatever did their rankings before the season. They said the Broncos had the worst running back room in the league. And I was like, dude, fuck you. And I'm like, Javonte's still good. And then I've watched Javonte play, and I'm like, he looks like a shell of his former self. Like, I don't know what is going on with him. Jaleel McLaughlin, though, he did have that fucking sweet juke move to score a touchdown on Sunday against Tampa. But they routed the Tampa Bay Bucks on Sunday. It was 26-7. But the game shouldn't have even been that close. And I think that's where Denver's offense, and we'll wrap it up with this, where they're going to have to get their shit together is in the red zone. They get down inside the 20, down to close to the 20, and they're not making the plays down there where they need to, and they're settling for a lot of like 30-yard field goals, which is really frustrating. Mm-hmm. But I think once those things get cleaned up, and once Bo Nix starts being like Bo Nix, I'm telling you right now, bro. Sorry, Danny Dimes. Bo Nix is Vanilla Vic.
Well,
that kid, he eluded a sack on Sunday. I don't know if you saw it, but
yes.
the dude he was dead to rights. He ducked and got out of the way and then just took off for like 35 yards.
How do you feel about Tampa Bay was barking all week? I don't know why. Tampa Bay was opening their mouth saying like they were laughing at Bo Nix having a limited offensive play sheet, and I'm like, blew up in their face because just because you have a limited offensive play sheet, if you execute it well, you go to a good restaurant, they have 15 items, but they're fucking perfect. It's better than going to the Cheesecake Factory where they have 178.
And they're all
dog shit.
And they all come out shitty.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Bo Nix is still a rookie, right? Let's not forget about that. Bo Nix is still a rookie, but he has Sean Payton in his corner. And Sean Payton said after week 2, like, Bo Nix is not the problem. Don't worry, we've got a lot of things we got to work on, but Bo Nix is fine. Don't worry about him. And I said, okay. I trust Sean Payton.
He was good.
And listen,
he's not there yet.
Week 1, he showed us some flashes. He did some things. Week 2 against a really good Pittsburgh defense, that was a rough go. Week 3 against a pretty banged up Bucs defense, they kind of feasted a bit. And what really gets my Gianny tingling about this Denver team is the defense.
Yeah.
And they're going to win a lot of games. Like I said, if you can hold the team under 20 points, you're going to have a lot of chances in this league. And I think Denver's defense is very capable of doing that. Now, we got a really tough spot on the road, 1 o'clock at the Jets, that I'm not overly excited about. I'm not overly optimistic about. But given our history against Aaron Rodgers, I feel like, with Vance Joseph calling the plays, I think we could do some things. We got some matchups that we can exploit defensively. And, I mean, listen, dude, PS2 is the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
He is the real fucking deal.
Yeah,
He put DK, Pickens, and Mike Evans in a box this year. And that's it. Locked them down.
That's great.
Fantastic. He is locking down good receivers.
It's bloodline
left
stuff,
and right.
man.
It is, bro, and he's nasty. But that Denver offense, they got to get the running game going, and once that happens, then I think you're going to start to see Bo Nix start to
why don't you
look
draft,
like a rookie of the year.
Elliott Smith is coming out after this year. Emmitt Smith's son.
I mean, fuck it, bro. Man,
yeah.
that's all the kids.
That's all I want. My team is going to be all Samoans and family members of former players. It's like, yo, this team is disgusting. Like the whole team is bloodline.
Can't beat it, bro. Can't beat it. But.
Thab, we did that earlier. Thab, I'm going to give you 10 seconds because we're getting off the air. Patriots going to play Drake May. That's the camp I'm in. I've been in that camp since before the season begins. I want baptism by fire. That's all I'm going to say.
If you go back to the beginning of the show, we talked kind of extensively about the Patriots a little bit. And I think they should wait till at least week 10 to play Drake May.
I think it should be right.
When the season's over, you're not going to the playoffs. There's no pressure. Then put him in.
Get the guy's experience.
That's
no
what
one's
I'm saying.
No one's going to lose their job. I want him to get real game experience. I don't believe in redshirting.
I'm just worried about getting him banged up for no reason.
I don't care. He's a big kid.
I know, but you just don't want him to go out and tear an ACL, and now he's not back until next October. Or worse, he had an Achilles or anything. You know what I mean?
But he doesn't. But he
or
already,
God forbid his throwing shoulder. Because that offensive line is not very good.
No, it's not. It's bad. But he needs the experience because he wasn't a very experienced college quarterback. He came in very late and did very well. So you need to see more.
Listen, you know how I felt about Drake May coming out.
Oh, I loved him.
I'm a big fan.
I told you him and Jaden above Caleb for me. Caleb, I was not a fan of. Caleb was number 3, and I'm not even.
Caleb Williams was not even on my list. I was like, if we're drafting a quarterback, I took Caleb Williams off my board. Period. Easy choice. I was taking the mighty Penix laser before I took Caleb Williams.
Oh yeah, fuck that. Penix I actually liked.
I think Penix is going to be good.
I think Penix is just already like a half like robot. He's like Anakin Skywalker turned into Darth Vader.
You know what I think is going to work out for Penix? And again, I know we're going over, but
that's fine.
Real quick on Penix. I think that the Falcons, I know we shit on them for making it the most mysterious draft pick, but what if this is low-key genius on the fucking part of the Falcons? They saw a guy whose body is a little bit underdeveloped in terms of being able to take a beating.
His body's already 29.
And they took it and they put him behind a guy that they've already paid for the next 4 years with no intention of playing him. Like they're gonna A-Rod this kid. Like just let him sit and and let his body mature and develop.
Yeah.
And hopefully, add a little bit of weight, add a little bit of, stability and toughness to yourself. Build up that callus through practice and preseasons and garbage time, and God forbid Kirk goes down or whatever, you go and you see some real time. What if it ends up working out and they get him in like 2 years or 3 years when Kirky's all done, and he comes out and he's just like this invincible fucking human. And he can't be, like, you can't hurt him anymore. He's like the next Steve McNair. Like, every time you hurt something, he gets better. And you're just like, fuck it. And he's just out there. And with that deep ball, dude, I feel like he would be, I don't know.
Did you realize
I really want Penix to do well.
Do you realize we're older now than when Steve McNair was when he got killed?
Yeah.
That still throws me off.
Yeah, he was in his early 30s, dude.
He was mid-30s.
Yeah,
he was like 36. And I was
35,
like,
36, yeah.
I was like, he was killed at 36. I thought he was like 40. And they're like, no.
Well, yeah, because that was what, 2008, 9?
Something like that.
Something
no,
like-
it was after the dual MVP season like that. No, it was like 2011, 2012 or something like that. He got killed. Hold on, I'll look it up right now. But
Was it that late? I mean, I know I was still in college.
no, you fucking nailed it. To July, he got killed on Independence Day in 2009.
Oh, 09, right. I thought so.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Because I remember it was going into the 09 season. It was the Josh McDaniels year. 6-0, only to finish fucking 8-8. Fucking bum. Trade away all my fucking Jay Cutler corner. You bastard. God, that pisses me off. Anyway, all right, let's leave it there, Sean. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. If you haven't, please click on the YouTube link in the description.
Please subscribe to the YouTube link. We're going to be
Subscribe.
live on YouTube.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be going live on YouTube as well. Just giving us more options, more available outlets for content for you guys, and giving us a little bit more freedom to do some more stuff. So please go ahead, click that link in the description. Give us the subscription. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's a bunch of fun iRacing stuff on there from me, as well as every show I upload every week, the show after we're done. And also we put it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, iHeart Music, Google, Amazon, all of them. So find us on all of those, at Row 1 Seat 1. And we will see you. Sean and I will see you next Tuesday. Paul still won't be here. He'll still be in the Greek Isles doing whatever it is he's doing over there, honeymooning. But yeah, if for a kid who hates the ocean, he sure decides to go to like a weird place for his honeymoon. But anyway, neither here nor there. He'll just stay in the pool. He's the kind of kid that won't go swimming in the ocean because he's like, you don't know what the fuck is in there.
Oh, I agree with him on that.
Oh, I know you do because you're a little pussy too. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
I don't fucking swim.
Deep
I'm
sea.
like,
let's go.
Cole's going for swimming lessons right now. I'm fucking terrified.
I love it.
Yeah, that's a true story. Everyone's like, "Oh, don't be a bitch." And I'm like, "I'm 100% a bitch. I will go out there the first time and get eaten by a whale. You know how impossible that is."
Oh, whale. Yeah, like one of those, like just like a humpback whale, just like waiting for all the fish to come in, and Sean's just like doggy paddling along. He's like, well,
I'm the guy that gets eaten on a paddleboard. That like the chance of you getting eaten by a whale is like less than like 0.5%. And that guy was like eaten by a whale, and the whale spit him out like 20 minutes later. But the guy was like, I was freaked out. You remember that story from like 3 years ago?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
It was fucking insane. That's one of my biggest fears, being eaten alive.
But I mean, how many things are gonna be eating you?
I don't know.
Wait, you mean slowly, like a lion or a bear is eating you, or you mean like as a whole in one shot?
Yes.
As a whole in one shot?
Either. Like, imagine like a bear attacking you, and you're hearing your own skull crack in its jaws.
Yeah, that's pretty painful.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds awful. And like it's ripping your limbs off.
Well, that's why I don't go in the woods either.
Same. But the ocean, you're like, ugh. I think I'd rather be eaten by a shark because at least like you'll get wounded and bleed out.
You'll drown. You'll drown as you're getting killed.
And you'll pass out before you really like, you know what I mean? But like if you get eaten by a whale and like you're just down in its digestive system, you're like, there's no way out. You can't get out.
Pinocchio survived. He just started a little fire and sat next to a box.
Yeah. I mean, but there's no way out, and it's just like you're just being digested by stomach acid while you wait to suffocate.
It's like that movie. Who made that movie recently? Nope.
Oh yeah.
The alien track. Oh god.
Yeah. Ugh, I don't know.
That was a terrifying part, like to get eaten alive by an alien. I was like, oh, that's a horrible way to go.
Speaking of terrifying, did you watch that thing on Netflix, The Monsters? The Menendez brothers that killed their parents?
Not yet.
Bro.
Is it bad?
All I'll say is like the murder scene was insane.
Was it gory?
Holy shit.
Really?
Like I walked downstairs, my wife had it on. I guess she started watching it.
Yeah.
And she had it on, and I'm like, and I hear like the guns, and they're like, what? And like screaming. I'm like, what are you watching? And she's sleeping. I'm thinking she's awake. I'm like, what the fuck are you watching? And I'm watching it, and I'm like, whoa.
Our wives are not phased.
I was like, dude. I'm like, this is sick. And like, then you're watching like, oh my God, dude. Like, it was fucking gory and brutal.
Have you? Speaking of gory and brutal, Terrifier. You ever seen Terrifier?
No, I don't watch that shit. I don't watch horror movies.
There's no plot to it. Super gory though.
Yeah, that's like Saw.
Way more gory than Saw.
Saw 1 and 2 were like cool, but like after that, you're like, nah, man.
That's real gore.
Now you're just thinking up fucking creative ways to kill people.
Yes.
Yeah. Which, I mean, also, if you're into that kind of thing, I get it. But no, I'm not into that. Terrifier thing, clowns, I don't do clowns.
Oh, you don't do clowns?
I don't do clowns, bro.
That doesn't faze me. I don't know.
Nope, the killer clowns from outer space.
See? That movie
Yeah.
I thought was funny.
Nope.
That was years ago.
Ruined
Tens of years
ruined
ago.
clowns.
30 years ago.
When they took the swizzle straws and stuck them in and started
Drank
drinking
it.
the blood, I'm like,
the big fat cheeks.
yep. I'm like, I'm all set with clowns forever. Never watched after that. It was like, you want to watch it? I'm like, nope.
The small little fat head.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell he says. I can't remember.
I was all set. I'd rather watch Critters.
Critters was good.
Critters was great.
They all roll into become.
Remember
that
one
big
about remember the one with like the snails that live in like the sewer and like get into like the food and like get inside of you and then eat their way out of you? Like killer snails or slugs. There's slugs.
Maybe it was slugs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
that
it was snails.
Yeah, I'll have to find that one. That one was fucking weird
All right,
too.
that was a different topic.
All right. Anyway, let's get out of here. We'll talk about Halloween movies in October. We've been on long
That's
enough.
next week.
Yeah, a week from today.
Oh, Christ.
Fucking wild, dude. Anyhow, all right, boys. Well, for Plizzy, who can't be here, Mr. Betancourt, I am Joey Fats. Thank you all for watching and listening to Row 1, Seat 1. We will see you next Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m., right here on the one, the only, the New Bedford Guide. Check y'all next week.
Later.
Peace.
you